Good morning, Manitoba. Monday, June 30th, knocking on the door to Canada Day, and we're going to give you all the details throughout the morning. What's happening at the Forks, whether it be cultural performances with our Indigenous friends, whether it be food trucks galore, or the skate park, and a little bit of a teaser. There is some spray painting involved. Creative expression. It's going to be a lot of fun for you and your family. First, here's a look at your headlines. Big changes are rolling in for Winnipeg Transit. The city launches the largest overhaul in its 142-year history. What you need to know before you board. Canada pulls its digital tax in a bid to restart trade talks with the U.S. And now a new deadline is on the table. And some financial relief is coming in time for Canada Day. As promised, federal tax cut kicks in on July 1st. What it means for your paycheck. Good morning to Daniel for the first time this morning. I'm in for Rochelle. You're in for Terry this morning. What a beautiful weekend, Daniel. Oh, it was fantastic. I was out in Pinawa yesterday floating. Couldn't ask for better weather. Now, today in Winnipeg, we could be talking a little different. Right now, it is 16 degrees. The wind out of the west-northwest at 9 clicks. The pressure's rising. The humidity sitting at 99%. Now, there may be a few scattered showers around on my way in this morning. That's kind of what I felt. You can see as this storm kind of pulls through kind of south-central Manitoba right now. It started out west a little bit earlier. Now, as we head into the day, we are going to see more showers here in Winnipeg with a risk of some thunderstorms here this afternoon. You can see it's fairly clear there, but as we move, a little bit develops. Now, overnight expected to clear, and tomorrow, of course, being Canada Day, people are looking, I know, heading down to the Forks, as we kind of mentioned. There's lots of other places around the city and province celebrating July 1st. Relatively clear here in Winnipeg as we move through the day. Now, if you are heading out to watch some fireworks or anything late in the evening, we could see some showers develop, risk of some thunderstorms as well. And looking at the next few days, though, hot here in Winnipeg. 29 for Canada today, 28 on Wednesday, 31 on both Thursday and Friday, for tapering off just a little bit for the weekend. Thank you, Daniel. Changes to Winnipeg's bus system are now officially here. Winnipeg Transit has officially launched its new primary transit network. The first bus rolled out yesterday early morning from Portage and Spence. It marks the biggest overhaul to the city's bus system in its 142-year history. Mayor Scott Gillingham, city councillors and transit staff were on hand to celebrate the launch and to encourage Winnipeggers to be patient and provide feedback.
Please be patient with the transit drivers as well, our operators. This is all new to them also. So if you have, if you have questions though, or you want to provide feedback, please do so. Please provide feedback to 311 to make sure that we can adjust as need be.
The new design is based upon the spine and feeder system to improve frequency, connectivity, and service efficiency. The city is looking to pay close attention to the ridership number to evaluate the project's progress. You can get more information at winnipegtransit.com. In a bid to advance trade talks with the United States, Canada has rescinded its digital services tax after President Trump abruptly ended negotiations on Friday. In a statement late Sunday, Ottawa says that Mark Carney and Donald Trump will resume talks with a view towards agreeing on a deal by July 21st. This announcement comes after Trump renewed his examination threats on American television on Sunday. CTV's Jeremy Sharon has part of this story.
Just days after calling off trade talks with Canada, U.S. President Donald Trump is once again ramping up annexation rhetoric.
I love Canada. Frankly, Canada should be the 51st state, okay? It really should.
In an interview on Fox News, the president addressed walking away from negotiations.
Canada is a very tough country to deal with, I will say that.
But
and I love Canada.
You have USMCA in place.
I know, but
you'll have to deal with it.
But USMCA is no good if they cheat.
What does that mean?
Well, there's been things going on that we don't like.
Trump took aim again at Canada's supply management, but this Liberal strategist suggests it could all be a tactic.
I think he sees an opportunity to throw something else into the mix.
Tyler Meredith is a former economic advisor to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and has previously been involved with international negotiations.
There are two things that he responds to. One is a stroke of his ego, and the second is strength. And so as Canada goes into this home stretch of the next couple of weeks, the question is, what are the ego strokes and what are the demonstrations of strength that we can put on the table that he will respond to?
Prime Minister says his government looks to continue the complex negotiations, and some experts suggest the rift could actually be a positive sign.
Expect to see some buildup of pressure as we approach those final days of an ongoing negotiation.
Meanwhile, Trump says he won't extend a 90-day pause on global tariffs set to expire July 9th.
Sources tell CTV News the Prime Minister was unable to make an appearance at Pride Parade in Toronto because he was focused on the Trump trade file.
We're now less than 24 hours away from Prime Minister Mark Carney's self-imposed deadline to take down internal trade barriers in Canada. Even though he's largely kept election promises, experts say that bigger changes are needed.
We need more and better rail. We need more and better roads. We need improvements to our bridges, to our ports.
Prime Minister Carney has kept his big election promise to take down the internal trade barriers by Canada Day. Most barriers to trade in Canada exist at the provincial level, meaning it's up to the provinces and territories to remove their own trade barriers. Ontario, Nova Scotia, PEI, Quebec, and Manitoba have all introduced or passed legislation to reduce barriers. Experts also say if Mark Carney is eminent about getting provinces to match Ottawa's free trade efforts, he could use transfer payments to try and convince premiers to reduce their barriers. As Canadians face an affordability crisis, there's something to celebrate on Canada Day as the federal government's promised income tax cut kicks in on July 1st. Because it starts midway through the year, the tax rate will drop from 15% to 14.5%, the first $57,375 of Canadians' taxable income this year. Next year, it will drop down to 14%. The government says nearly 22 million Canadians are expected to benefit. It projects that there will be $27 billion in tax savings for Canadians over 5 years. U.S. President Donald Trump says that there's been progress in finding new ownership for TikTok's operations south of the border. During the Biden administration, Congress voted to ban the video sharing app if it didn't sell its U.S. operations. It took that step citing national security concerns about TikTok's Chinese parent company, ByteDance, and it says that those concerns are unfounded. President Trump this month delayed implementation of the ban once again until mid-September. On Sunday, he told Fox News that he identified a group of very wealthy people who are ready to buy TikTok, or at least its U.S. assets. He said that he'll reveal who those potential buyers are in a few weeks, and he expects China would approve the deal. A new report suggests that Amazon MGM has a wish list when it comes to choosing the next James Bond.
Name? Bond. James Bond.
Daniel Craig stepped away from the role after 2021's No Time to Die just last week. Canada's own Denis Villeneuve says that he was revealed as the director of the next film in the spy franchise. Variety reports insiders at Amazon are hoping to cast an actor under the age of 30, with Jacob Elordi, Tom Holland, and Harris Dickinson at the top of that list. Amazon declined to comment on the report. Taking a look now at the current traffic situation along Portage Avenue. It appears it's a slow drive. No surprise on this Monday morning. If you have traffic updates, send them to us. CTV Morning WPG on X. Good morning for the first time to our Joseph Bernacki, getting a head start on Canada Day festivities at the Forks. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning, Ainsley, and good morning, Manitoba. Yeah, always a pleasure spending time at the Forks today. As Ainsley mentioned, we're highlighting Canada Day, of course, happening tomorrow. Canada turns 158, as we know it, celebrating a confederation since 1867. We're going to be previewing different events happening here at the Forks today, and there's going to be a lot of different things happening. There's going to be a really neat basketball tournament. There's going to be a collaboration with Pitaquay Skate Park, where you're going to be able to do some spray painting and some skateboarding designs, as well as, of course, bring your skateboard to the Forks. There's going to be live music. There's going to be food trucks present on site. Entertainment running, it sounds like, until about 6 o'clock, so in the early evening, and get a chance to explore downtown. And hopefully it's going to be some nice weather that we have tomorrow as well. There's going to be a slew of events happening. We're going to hope to preview them coming up in about half an hour's time. So keep it locked on CTV Morning Live, and we'll be back today live from the Forks.
Thank you, Joseph. Daniel on the roof for the first time today. Part of owning a home is making it perfect for you and your family, and some people really do go above and beyond.
Waking up in a fun house. Right now there's a foam pit in our master bedroom because of a project my husband's working on. I go downstairs.
All right, looks like fun for the whole family. From a foam pit in the master bedroom to look at that main room floor, a secret doorway into the pantry. Come on now. I guess that would be handy to have a separate secret door so they don't know where all the snacks are coming from.
Okay, this is a lot. This is a lot. I'd love to know where this is.
And not too practical.
No.
Oh man, how's it feeling outside?
It's beautiful out here right now, Ainsley. The sun obviously shining to my east, and a little bit of more cloud coverage to the west, slight breeze out of the west-northwest right now at about 15 kilometers an hour. That should pick up later in the day. Now, we have some chance of showers throughout the morning and developing to the risk of a thunderstorm here in Winnipeg this afternoon. That wind, though, is expected to pick up out of the northwest, 30 to 50 clicks, so could be a breezy afternoon. Much of the same around the rest of the province today with that risk of thunderstorms. Now here in Winnipeg tonight, it's going to clear, and we're heading into Canada Day, and I know Joseph's previewing what's happening at the Forks, and there's lots of sunshine in the forecast. High of around 28 tomorrow. And yes, plenty of sunshine. So if you're planning on heading out tomorrow, make sure you slap on that sunscreen. But it's shaping up to be a beautiful start to the week here in Winnipeg.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Good morning, it's almost 6:15. Canada's ongoing trade battles with both the U.S. and China are having an impact on the country's agricultural sector. Pork and canola producers are among those feeling the effects of trade uncertainty. CTV's Alex Karpa reports.
Well, we're going into my hog barn right now.
Ian Smith regularly checks on his pigs at his farm near Argyle, Manitoba.
I got maybe about 75 or so pigs in here right now.
He's had more interest in his Canadian pork products over the last few months, benefiting from tariffs on international imports.
People are on the bandwagon of eating local, and that's fine with me, and I can supply it for them.
Although he is seeing heightened popularity, it comes with challenges.
In regards to parts and getting steel and machinery and that, and fertilizer and chemicals.
Canadian hog farmers are highly reliant on the U.S. market, especially those in Manitoba, which is the largest pig-producing province in the country. Manitoba exports between 3 to 3.5 million live pigs to the U.S. every year, bringing about $200 million in trade annually.
It's global uncertainty and market uncertainty and tariff uncertainty and political uncertainty.
And that uncertainty, Cam Dahl calls scary.
That uncertainty is having an impact on the industry, and of course we're also facing 25% tariffs going into China.
The levies from China were in response to a 100% surtax Canada placed on Chinese-made electric vehicles, steel and aluminum. Earlier this month, Prime Minister Mark Carney said his government is urgently working to remove these tariffs, which is not just impacting pork, but canola products too.
Farmers really are good at growing canola. It's economically viable for them. It's agronomically sustainable for them from an agronomic perspective in their crop rotations.
That one laying down there, she's to give birth on July 1st.
As for Smith, he hopes these levies go away sooner rather than later so he can get down to business as usual. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Canada plans to take a fresh look at addressing harmful behavior online as the Liberals attempt to get legislation passed for a third time. Canada's Justice Minister says that the government hasn't decided whether to rewrite or simply reintroduce the Online Harms Act. It was originally brought forward last year but didn't pass. Measures addressing deepfakes and child exploitation are expected to be included in legislation coming in the near future. 2 Liberal election promises. The minister says that some online harm measures could be included in a separate crime bill expected to be tabled this fall. A marathon weekend session in the U.S. Senate where lawmakers are debating President Trump's big, beautiful bill. More than 900 pages of spending and tax cuts, which cleared a major hurdle to get to this debate late on Saturday night.
Yeas are 51, the nays are 49. The motion is agreed to. The clerk will report the bill.
If Senate Republicans won't tell the American people what's in this bill, then Democrats are going to force this chamber to read it from start to finish. I object.
That was the moment that lawmakers voted 51-49 in favor of advancing the bill to the debate stage. That debate was stretching into the overnight hours on Sunday night. The bill aims to reduce spending on social programs such as Medicaid and food stamps, and also put more money into the Pentagon and border security agencies. One fighter pilot is dead, and at least 12 people have been wounded in Ukraine in what authorities are calling a large-scale Russian air attack. Russia fired hundreds of drones, cruise and ballistic missiles on 6 locations in western, southern and central Ukraine overnight on Saturday, damaging homes and a college. Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky says that an F-16 fighter pilot died in a crash while repelling the attacks. Ukraine's military claims that Russia used some 500 types of weapons. Zelensky is calling for Washington and Western allies to bolster Ukraine's air defense. Meanwhile, Russia's spy chief says that he's spoken with director of the CIA. He says that they've agreed to call each other at any time to discuss, quote, issues of interest. The two intelligence agencies have been intense rivals for years. Meanwhile, Zelensky says that Ukraine is on track to withdraw from the Ottawa Convention, the 1997 treaty that bans using, producing, or stockpiling landmines Ukraine signed in 2005. Zelensky says that Russia isn't part of the treaty and has been using mines against Ukraine's military and civilians in the war. The country's parliament still needs to approve it before it can withdraw from the treaty. A veteran Winnipeg sportscaster who has become a strong advocate for addiction recovery is set to receive the Order of Canada this week. Scott Oak co-founded the Bruce and Ann Oak Memorial Foundation and the Bruce Oak Recovery Center in honor of his late son. Oak is scheduled to receive our country's highest civilian honor on Canada Day in Ottawa. He'll be joined there by Vancouver-born actor Ryan Reynolds and musician Heather Rankin, among others. 3 other Manitobans were previously named to the Order of Canada in December. Disability champion Orland Backstrom, veterinarian Kenneth Moult, and journalist John Longhurst were among 88 new appointees. Members of the order are honored for distinguished service to a particular community or field.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Here's a look at our traffic situation right now along Confusion Corner. No confusion there, as there is only one vehicle passing. If you spot any trouble, let us know. CTV Morning WPG on X.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Taking a look outside downtown Winnipeg, 16 degrees here in Winnipeg under cloudy skies. The wind out of the west-northwest at 15 kilometers per hour. The pressure's rising, the humidity sitting at 99%. Now that traffic, not a lot out there because obviously a lot of people are taking advantage of an extra long weekend here in Winnipeg and throughout Manitoba. As you can see right now, pretty much similar temperatures across the board in the south and southwest. As we move north, a little bit cooler in Churchill, 5 degrees this hour. We're in Thompson, 13. And as we look to the west of there, 16 out in Flin Flon. Now we saw some rain drop here in Winnipeg over the early parts of the morning as I was coming into work. Now it came out of the west. You can see it developed around Brandon. It actually over Dauphin late last night kind of rolled through. Now we may see some lingering showers as we move through your Monday, and there is a risk of thunderstorms over much of the province today, but temperatures warming up throughout the entire day. High of 27 here in Winnipeg today. As we look over the next few days, tomorrow Canada Day, high of 29, plenty of sunshine, and much of the same as we head through what could be a short work week for a lot of folks. And our first weather pick, or our only weather pick of the day, comes from Lori. This was taken out in hollow water, and as you can see, a young and curious black bear peeking out at you. Please send in those photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
CTV Morning Live School Day Forecast is brought to you by Rainbow Stage, your season to sing.
Good morning. A local man is showing that love can conquer the most difficult obstacles. And after his wife suffered a stroke several years ago, he's been her full-time caregiver ever since and has shared their story in a series of books. CTV's Carol Charles has more.
For the past 6 years, Andrew Smith has taken on the role of caring for his wife, Janice. March 18th, 2019 had started out as a typical day, but quickly turned tragic. While Andrew was at work, he got a frantic call from his wife, who described feeling unwell. At some point during the conversation, she started to slur. He rushed home, fearing the worst.
I ran into our front door. I unlocked the door, and I screamed out, "Janice, Janice, Janice," just screamed out her name, hoping she's okay. Unfortunately, I didn't get an answer.
He quickly made his way downstairs where she was working and found her non-responsive, slumped over the desk. She was rushed to hospital and placed in ICU. At the age of 53, Janice had suffered a major stroke in the thalamus area of her brain.
She stayed in a coma for about a week, and that was tough. Throughout that whole time, I slept at the hospital every night.
Janice would remain at Scarborough General Hospital and Providence Healthcare for the next 3 months before returning home. She had to relearn how to walk and talk again. Today, she deals with sight, memory, and balancing issues. Her short-term memory is almost non-existent, and she needs assistance to know where she is in life.
The life before is a dream. It doesn't, this is a life now, you know?
Andrew is her full-time caregiver and says he would have it no other way. The couple met in grade 7 at the age of 12 and have been married for 33 years.
This is my soulmate. There's nothing I wouldn't do for her.
As a way for him to cope over the past few years, he has put his thoughts and feelings to paper.
I decided to write daily blogs on how Janice is doing, what her progress is, and just teaching people about who we are, where we come from.
The daily blog has now translated into a series of books. Each year since 2020, he has written a book about their new life together. Recently released, This Thing Called Life.
This goes through you know, the loves, the losses, and the battles of life.
A life and love which he is most grateful for.
The most important thing for me is that she is here, and God has blessed me with her being here. So I make the most of it.
Andrew will be releasing his 5th book, Unconditional Love, this November. Carol Charles, CTV News.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
A beautiful start to your Monday. 16 degrees here in Winnipeg. The wind out of the west-northwest at 15 clicks. Pressure's rising. The humidity sitting at 99%. Now, we did see a few showers roll through the city early this morning. It all came from the south or from the west, as you can see, around midnight, developing through Dauphin and rolling down through Brandon. Now, we got the tail end of that here in Winnipeg. We could see some more showers as the day progresses, including the risk of thunderstorms this afternoon. Today, though, high of 27 here in Winnipeg. As I mentioned, that risk of thunderstorms. The wind is expected to pick up this afternoon, gusting up to 50 clicks. Overnight, though, expected to clear. Low is 17. The wind shifts a little bit out of the west at 15. And tomorrow, for Canada Day, high of 29. A little bit windy, but plenty of sunshine. If you are heading out, of course, make sure that you are ready, hydrated, and looking forward to celebrating Canada Day on your Tuesday. For the rest of the week, on Wednesday, high of 28. Plenty of sunshine. Thursday and Friday, again, very hot temperatures, 31-degree highs. It's around a normal of 25 this time of year. And the weekend, mainly sunny, 27 degrees both Saturday and Sunday. So looking pretty good out there, Ainsley.
Thank you, Daniel. Tomorrow is Canada Day, which means some government services and businesses may be closed or operating at reduced hours. All civic offices in Winnipeg will be closed on Canada Day. Recycling and garbage will be collected as regularly scheduled for people with Tuesday as their collection day. Winnipeg Transit will run on an enhanced Sunday schedule, which includes additional Blue Line trips between Assiniboine Park and the Forks. Transit will also offer additional late night service, with the last buses leaving downtown area at around 12:40 a.m. All libraries as well as fitness and leisure centers are closed. All indoor pools will be open Tuesday, but indoor pools will be closed. Wading pools opening on staggered basis between July 1st. Grant Park Shopping Centre and St. Vital Centre will be closed on Tuesday. CF Polo Park, Garden City Shopping Centre, Kildonan Place and Outlet Collection Winnipeg will be open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. All liquor marts in Winnipeg and Brandon will be open from 11 to 6 on Canada Day, except True North Square. Rural hours vary by location. The Canadian Museum for Human Rights is open with free admission from 10 a.m. to 5 on Tuesday. The Manitoba Museum is open from 10 to 4, and the Winnipeg Art Gallery, Kamayuk, opens from 11 to 5 on Canada Day. For a full list of Canada Day celebrations taking place in Winnipeg and across Manitoba, including at the Forks, Assiniboine Park, and Princess Auto Stadium, head to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Purchasing products from within our country is certainly on the minds of many, as we are seeing a surge in patriotism brought on by the current trade war. Made in Canada merchandise is selling fast, and right now anything red and white as people prepare for Canada Day. CTV's Kamal Karamali on those showcasing Canadian pride.
Block after block, house after house, one Canadian flag after another.
I think I just feel a lot of Canadian pride in general.
That pride, tough to miss leading up to Canada Day.
I'm happy to be Canadian and celebrate that.
Here in Edmonton, this neighborhood has one on every lawn.
People want to support their country.
And that has flag manufacturers and their machines working overtime.
This is the strongest year for flag sales by a considerable margin.
An Angus Reid poll found at the end of last year, 58% of those surveyed were either proud or very proud to be Canadian. But now in June, that surged to 67%.
What changed was just one thing: Donald Trump.
All in response to the U.S. president launching a trade war with Canada and wanting to make us America's 51st state.
Canadians, for the first time, I think, really became offensive in their nationalism.
That surge in Canadian pride also translating into big bucks for small local businesses. We're expected to see an even bigger increase come Canada Day.
Come with me.
Mira Staples sells vintage clothes. Almost all of them have this in common.
It's also made in Canada.
And there's never been a higher demand in her 3 decades of running the store.
They do more than before. Before, nobody really didn't care.
Nearly 40% of Canadian businesses say they've seen an increase in sales since the start of the trade war, especially in the retail, hospitality, and wholesale sectors. So whether people are buying Canadian or showcasing their pride on their porch,
we're more united this year.
One thing's for certain, it'll be a Canada Day unlike few have seen in their lifetime. Kamal Karamali, CTV News, Toronto.
Some Tim Hortons customers who thought that they bought a boat saying roll up the rim, they can go ahead and sue.
Under Quebec law, you can ask for what's called specific performance. So you told me I want a boat. I want delivery of the boat. That's what our clients in the class is alleging for now. Obviously, if they want to offer an equivalent amount in money and save on the delivery fees of the boat, I'm sure my client would entertain that.
A Quebec Superior Court judge has authorized a class action lawsuit against Tim Hortons after customers received emails claiming that they'd won a boat and trailer playing roll up the rim last year. It turns out those emails to 500,000 customers were a mistake. The judge says that the class action can go forward, but it's limited to Quebec residents. The law firm says that clients should be awarded to the boat and trailer that they were told that they won. The lawyer representing the claimants is also asking for punitive damages of $10,000 per customer. The prize's value is reportedly about $64,000. A 3-day event bringing festivities to Tyndall Park neighborhood kicked off on Sunday. Known as Canada Fest, the annual event at Tyndall Community Market includes food trucks, local vendors, performances, Zumba, and is free to attend.
I think we're offering something a little bit different, which is, Tyndall Community Market featuring the food park. There's lots of food options here. You're not going to find this anywhere else in Winnipeg.
The event runs today from 4 to 9 p.m. at Tyndall Park Community Center, both inside and outside, and concludes on Canada Day. Fireworks are anticipated for the final day at 10:35 p.m., weather permitting. Taking a look now at the current traffic situation, volumes seem to have picked up on this Monday morning on McPhillips Street. If you have any traffic tips or updates, send them to us, CTV Morning WPG on X. Taking a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average stands at $1.35. The provincial average is lower, $1.31. In Winnipeg, the average is at $1.29. The lowest price in the city is at $1.17. All of this information available at gasbuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Speaking of Canada Day, Joseph Bernacki is at the Forks, a great place for gathering and celebration. What's on tap, Joseph?
It certainly is, Ainsley. Good morning, Winnipeg. Very pleased to be joined by Tinika Bonskul-Liuma. She's a communications and marketing advisor here for the Forks. It's a beautiful morning. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here, and you're right. It is a beautiful morning and a beautiful place.
Yeah, well, we're going to have you for a few segments today, Tinika. Tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening here tomorrow.
Yeah, so on Canada Day, we're wrapping up our 11 days of Many Nations, One Heartbeat programming. So we've been celebrating all of Manitoba and all Manitobans for 11 days. So we have a full day of programming set for a really beautiful day tomorrow.
And tomorrow there's going to be a lot of different events happening. Talk to us about a few of them. There's going to be live music, a basketball tournament. Talk to us about a couple of them.
Yeah, so from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. we have programming all day, and there's something for everybody. So kids, family friendly, just everybody will enjoy something. Like you said, there's that basketball tournament going on all day. There's a dunk contest as well as a shooting contest, which will be just fun to watch, plus an open court with a DJ, so if people want to come and play basketball, they can. Right here at the port, we'll have entertainment all day long. There's some dancers, like jingle dress dancers, and some fancy shawl dancers here as well.
You guys are doing a collaboration with Pitaquay Skate Park. I think a lot of people are familiar with them from Portage Place. What's going to be happening with them? We're going to be speaking with them, I think, later on the show, yeah?
Yeah, that team is fantastic, and they're coming tomorrow to do some skateboard demonstrations. So if folks want to jump on a skateboard, they have the skateboards and helmets and people there to help them as well. And then you can also spray paint and decorate your skateboard with stickers and the paint as well. Plus, they're doing a donation for the wildfire relief in Manitoba, with proceeds going to the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs.
Nice. Putting you on the spot here, your most favorite thing you're looking forward to tomorrow?
Ooh, that is on the spot. Ooh. Okay, well, the evening is closing out at 7 p.m. Leonard Sumner is going to be on the Johnson Terminal stairs. That's definitely going to be a beautiful performance.
Nice. Where can people go to get more information on what's happening tomorrow if they want to take a look?
Yeah, if you head to our social media or theforks.com on our events calendar, all the information, the hour-by-hour breakdown is there, so you can enjoy everything from 9 to 6.
Wonderful, Tinika. Well, she'll be back on the show later on this morning. Stay tuned from the Forks, celebrating Canada Day here on CTV Morning Live.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Looking forward to it. Outside, fingers crossed, I think it's going to be a beautiful day.
Yes and no, Ainsley.
Oh.
It depends. Right now, though, it is beautiful out. The sun's shining just on the other side of 300 Main there. And as you can see, Joseph at the Forks, plenty of sunshine there as well. Now, wind coming out of the west-northwest at 15 clicks. It's a little breezy, but it's a beautiful start to the day. We could see some scattered showers throughout the city and province this morning. There is a risk of thunderstorms this afternoon, but we are looking at a high of 27, so it's going to be hot. It's going to be a little bit windy, but, keep an eye out just in case those thunderstorms do develop. That's expected throughout much of southern Manitoba today and parts of the north. But right now, if you're just getting up, head outside with a cup of coffee, watch the show. It is a beautiful start to the work week for some, like myself, other people taking today off, so take advantage of it. Although we could see those thunderstorms roll in this afternoon, it is expected to clear heading late into the evening.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Taking a look at the early markets, they're pointing to a strong start this morning. Dow futures are up 218 points, while the Nasdaq is gaining momentum with a 141-point jump. S&P futures are also in the green, rising by 26 points. The Canadian dollar is seeing a modest uptick in early trading. Looking overseas, Hang Seng has slipped 211 points, but Japan's Nikkei is showing strength, up by 336. Good morning. Winnipeggers gathered in North Kildonan on Saturday to fight against brain tumors. The 2025 Brain Tumor Walk was hosted by the Brain Tumor Foundation of Canada at Kildonan Park's Teddy Bass Athletic Field. The foundation hosts the walk all over Canada. Their mission is to support Canadians affected by brain tumor in any way possible.
Our mission is to provide support to every Canadian affected by a brain tumor, whether that's through resources, education. We have research funding, advocacy. Our goal is to make sure that nobody goes through a brain tumor journey alone.
The walk has raised over $70,000 so far. The foundation is funded entirely through donations and fundraisers like this walk. Participants had their own stories and reasons to attend the walk, but they were all united in one cause. Trade deals with the U.S. not the only file pressing the Prime Minister. Mark Carney is just 24 hours away from his self-imposed deadline to make major changes to how trade works within this country, the core component of his election campaign. CTV's Colton Prill on where that promise stands right now.
We could carry the case, maybe.
This Ottawa brewer dreams of selling his beer across the country, but he can't even get to store shelves just 10 kilometers away.
By the time it gets to the consumer in the glass at a bar in Quebec, it costs more than they're willing to pay. And for us as a small business, it just doesn't make any sense.
Reducing interprovincial trade barriers is something Mark Carney promised to achieve quickly.
From a federal level to have free trade by Canada Day.
Largely, he's succeeded. The Liberals passed the infrastructure building Bill C-5 this month and have dropped most, but not all, federal exemptions in the Canada Free Trade Agreement. Still, economists say Canadians may not feel much of a difference in their wallets.
Even if we've eliminated everything, I don't think the gains will come to $200 billion a year or anywhere close.
That's because most barriers to trade in Canada exist at the provincial level. Ontario, Nova Scotia, PEI, and Quebec have all introduced or passed legislation to reduce trade barriers. But if Ottawa really wants to make an impact, experts say it needs to build.
We need more and better rail. We need more and better roads. We need improvements to our bridges, to our ports.
Trade barriers aren't all Carney promised by Canada Day.
To sign this order to deliver that tax cut.
Carney delivered on his promised tax cuts to the carbon tax, lowering the bottom rate of the income tax, and eliminating the GST for some first-time home buyers. He's also signed a strategic defense partnership with the European Union, another Canada Day promise. Still, at breweries like this, they're looking for the Prime Minister to deliver on the spirit of his promises as well.
Until they lower the trade barriers, there's still trade barriers.
Experts say if Carney is adamant on getting provinces to match his free trade efforts, he could use transfer payments or other federal dollars to compel premiers to reduce trade barriers.
Two teens are in critical condition after being electrically shocked in an abandoned building in Montreal. Officers responded to a call on Saturday for an explosion in a vacant building. Police said that the teens allegedly broke into a building to steal various items. A 17 and 18-year-old were found badly injured after handling an electronic circuit breaker. Two other teens were unharmed and arrested at the scene. They will appear in court at a later date. Heat waves are gripping southern Europe with temperatures pushing past 40 Celsius. Countries including Portugal, Italy, and Spain are being hit with record high temperatures. And there are warnings about the risk of wildfires in areas with severe heat. Greece is under a high wildfire alert after a large blaze broke out in Athens on Thursday. Canadian athletic brand Lululemon has filed a lawsuit against Costco. Lululemon is accusing the wholesaler of selling knockoffs of some of its most popular items. The lawsuit filed in a California court alleges that Costco is selling dupes of Lululemon's scuba hoodies and sweatshirts. The lawsuit also alleges that Costco is selling jackets and pants that are Lululemon knockoffs. Costco has yet to file a response to the suit. Canada's national men's soccer team was in the quarterfinal action against Guatemala at the CONCACAF Gold Cup on Sunday afternoon.
Par ce pénalty raté. Et c'est passé. Et encore une fois, Navarro avait choisi.
Jonathan David gave Canada a 1-goal lead with a penalty kick in the first half. However, Guatemala ended up winning 6-5 in penalties. They will play the winner of the match between the U.S. and Costa Rica on Wednesday. Here's a look at our traffic camera. Kennison and Sterling Lyon. Beautiful morning if you want to get somewhere quickly. Let us know if you have any tips. CTV Morning WPG.
And taking a look outside downtown Winnipeg, 16 degrees here in Winnipeg right now. Cloudy, a little bit hazy out there. The wind coming out of the west-northwest. The pressure's rising. The humidity sitting at 99%. Now, we had some early rain showers around 4 a.m. as I was rolling in. We've watched a storm kind of come through the southwest part of the province. Now, we could see a couple more showers this morning here in Winnipeg. There is a risk of thunderstorms this afternoon. Looking throughout the province, though, starting up north today in Churchill, high of 18, some chance of some showers. Looking a little further south of there, Thompson, 23, risk of thunderstorms. To this northwest Manitoba, Flin Flon, 24 degrees today, the Pas 25. That region could see some thunderstorms as well. To our west, out in Brandon and the surrounding area, highs of 26 today, clearing, mainly sunny. It's a beautiful hot day in West Manitoba, here in Winnipeg and the rest of the capital region. Temperatures hovering around seasonal averages, which is 25 for this time of year. Now a mix of sun and cloud. Chance of showers, those risks of thunderstorms I was talking about, and just over the border in Ontario, much of the same, 23 in Kenora, Dryden, and 22 in Fort Francis. And
thank you, Daniel. Yeah. Thank you so much. A new Canadian snapshot is revealing why the problem of accessing primary care is getting worse for Canadian seniors and how that compares to other countries. Here's CTV's Scott Hurst.
Canada's healthcare system is under significant strain, in part due to an aging population, and getting access to primary care is increasingly more difficult.
Well, I'm like a lot of people that my family has a history of cancer in my situation, but there are people that I know that have family histories of other conditions you should be concerned about, and you don't have a chance to get a checkup.
Canada is falling behind some international partners. About 8% of Canadians 65 and up don't have access to a primary care provider. That's about 600,000 people, meaning more seniors are going without care compared to those in the U.S., UK, France, and Germany, to name a few. The report published by the Canadian Institute for Health Information also notes older Canadians are struggling to access mental health care when they need it.
Mental health care is really important for older adults. We found in our survey in 2024 that 1 in 4 older adults reported feeling isolated at least some of the time.
The report also shows timely access to primary care has been getting worse. Only about a quarter of seniors who have access to care can even get an appointment the same day or next. That number was much higher than in a previous survey less than a decade ago. Now, improving access is not an easy fix. Canada's population is rapidly aging and people are living longer. According to Stats Canada, seniors made up less than 1/5 of the population in 2023. By 2030, that number will swell to nearly a quarter. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
Bruce made his Major League Baseball debut recently. Here's ABC's Danny No.
Let's hear for Bruce the Bat Dog.
Maybe you've seen this video of the Washington Nationals calling up Bruce the Bat Dog recently. Since last September, Bruce has been retrieving bats for the team's minor league affiliate, the Rochester Red Wings.
Hey, come on in, big dog. Have a seat. Hope you're doing well, man.
And earlier this month, they staged a meeting with his manager when Bruce got the news that he'd be making his major league debut.
One of the greatest things I've ever experienced, to be honest with you.
But while this moment was, of course, just flat out adorable, it was also emotional and incredibly meaningful for Bruce's best pal, Josh. Before he was a dog trainer, Josh served in the Marines for 4 years, and while he was there, Josh really wanted to work with the K-9 unit.
When they went around asking, who wants to be a dog handler, obviously I was one of the first people to raise my hand, but just never got picked to do it.
So as soon as Josh got out, he says the fire was lit.
Ready, come. Yes!
He started working as a dog trainer, which eventually included getting his dog Milo trained to work as a bat dog for the Red Wings in 2019, way before Bruce was born. Sadly, Milo passed away in 2023, just before he might have gotten his big chance at the majors. It still makes Josh emotional to talk about it.
The Nationals told me that they were actually going to call him up. And then he got sick, and yeah.
So a few months later, when he got Bruce,
I've literally been training him since the first day that I brought him home.
And now Josh has finally gotten to honor his dreams for Milo.
But Bruce was able to carry on that legacy, and it was amazing.
By the way, both Bruce and Milo have raised money with their star power. With each bat, the Red Wings and a local business donate to 2 organizations who help veterans. Just when you thought you couldn't possibly love these dogs anymore. Right, guys? In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
It's that time of year, and CTV and Chicken Chef want you to share how you're soaking up the season. From campfires to concerts, golf days to getaways, whatever makes your Manitoba summer magical, we want to see it. These are just a few of the amazing moments from last year, and now it's your turn. Upload a photo of your summer fun for a chance to win the $5,000 grand prize, plus daily draws for $50 Chicken Chef gift certificates. So what are you waiting for? Grab your phone, snap that sunshine, and share your summer with us today. Here's a live look at the Provence Bridge. Speaking of summer sunshine, we're going to take you into your Monday with more after these short messages. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy early Canada Day. If you didn't get into going to work today and you're watching from your couch this morning, hi, thank you for joining us. Joseph Bernanke is live from the Forks today talking about all the programming they have, whether it be cultural or even designing a skateboard. How awesome is that? So he's going to be doing that. We're also having a conversation at 7:52 with Variety Manitoba, the children's charity that is supporting so many kids with intellectual disabilities, kids with autism getting on a bike for the very first time through their bike camp. So we'll have those details at 7:52. First, here's your headlines. Winnipeg's biggest bus system shakeup in 142 years. What you need to know about the city's new primary transit network. Plus, Canadian farmers caught in a global trade fight. How U.S. and China tensions are impacting pork and canola producers. And from broadcast booth to the nation's highest honor, Winnipeg's Scott Oak set to receive the Order of Canada this week. Daniel's joining us once again. Outside, when I saw you on the roof, you had a glow to you, Daniel. Beautiful.
Oh, it is beautiful out there right now, Ainsley. A little bit humid for my liking, but 16 degrees. The wind coming out of the west-northwest at 15 clicks. Pressure's rising and the humidity sitting at 99%. Saw a couple showers earlier this morning here in Winnipeg and the surrounding area. Now we could see a few more as we move through the morning, but high of 27 here today. As we look over the next few hours, you can see little patches in the south and north with some chance of showers. Now in the afternoon, it looks like it's clearing up. However, we do have a risk of thunderstorms throughout much of southern Manitoba. We know how quickly those can develop. Some activity in the north as well. As we move into the evening, though, clearing overnight. And Tuesday, Canada Day, of course, here in the south, mainly clear, plenty of sunshine. I'm going to show you late in the evening. You can see potential of a storm developing in southern Manitoba. So if you are heading out to watch some fireworks or just celebrate the day, keep that in mind before another beautiful day on Wednesday. So today, high of 27 here in Winnipeg. That risk of thunderstorms. Tomorrow, high of 29, plenty of sunshine. Wednesday, 28, even more sunshine. Getting hotter and hotter as we head towards the weekend. Thursday and Friday, highs of 31. And Saturday and Sunday, highs of 27.
Thank you, Danny.
And our weather art of the day, Ainsley, is from Mitchell. Kids are out of school now. If you're looking for something for them to do, get them to do a little painting for us and send them in to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thank you. Changes to Winnipeg's bus system are now officially here. Winnipeg Transit has officially launched its new primary transit network. The first bus rolled out yesterday early morning from Portage and Spence. It marks the biggest overhaul to the city's bus system in its 142-year history. Mayor Scott Gillingham, city councillors, and transit staff were on hand to celebrate the launch and to encourage Winnipeggers to be patient and provide feedback.
Please be patient with the transit drivers as well, our operators. This is all new to them also. So if you have, if you have questions though, or you want to provide feedback, please do so. Please provide feedback to 311 to make sure that we can adjust as need be.
The new design is based upon the spine and feeder system to improve frequency, connectivity, service efficiency too. The city is looking to pay close attention at the ridership number to evaluate the project's progress. You can get more information at winnipegtransit.com. Canada's ongoing trade battles with both the U.S. and China are having an impact on the country's agriculture sector. Pork and canola producers are among those feeling the effects of the trade uncertainty. CTV's Alex Carpa reports.
Going into my hog barn right now.
Ian Smith regularly checks on his pigs at his farm near Argyle, Manitoba.
I got maybe about 75 or so pigs in here right now.
He's had more interest in his Canadian pork products over the last few months, benefiting from tariffs on international imports.
People are on the bandwagon of eating local, and that's fine with me, and I can supply it for them.
Although he is seeing heightened popularity, it comes with challenges.
In regards to parts and getting steel and machinery and that, and fertilizer and chemicals.
Canadian hog farmers are highly reliant on the U.S. market, especially those in Manitoba, which is the largest pig-producing province in the country. Manitoba exports between 3 to 3.5 million live pigs to the U.S. every year, bringing about $200 million in trade annually.
It's global uncertainty and market uncertainty and tariff uncertainty and political uncertainty.
And that uncertainty, Cam Dahl calls scary.
That uncertainty is having an impact on the industry, and of course we're also facing 25% tariffs going into China.
The levies from China were in response to a 100% surtax Canada placed on Chinese-made electric vehicles, steel and aluminum. Earlier this month, Prime Minister Mark Carney said his government is urgently working to remove these tariffs, which is not just impacting pork, but canola products too.
Farmers really are good at growing canola. It's economically viable for them. It's agronomically sustainable for them from an agronomic perspective in their crop rotations.
That one laying down there, she's to give birth on July 1st.
As for Smith, he hopes these levies go away sooner rather than later so he can get down to business as usual. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
8 people are injured after a temporary tent collapsed at a Nigerian market near Calgary City Mall.
I was just doing all my standing and I just saw the whole thing collapse.
Stage lighting and video equipment also toppled over onto festival goers on Saturday afternoon. Some people were trapped under the fallen structures. 7 adults and 1 child were transported to hospital in non-life-threatening condition. Calgary police are currently investigating what caused this to happen. We do know a severe thunderstorm warning was issued right before it happened, but it's unclear still if the cause is weather-related. 1 fighter pilot is dead and at least 12 people have been wounded in Ukraine in what authorities are calling a large-scale Russian air attack. Russia fired hundreds of drones, cruise and ballistic missiles on 6 locations in western, southern and central Ukraine overnight on Saturday, damaging homes and a college. Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky says that an F-16 fighter pilot died in a crash while repelling the attacks. Ukraine's military claims that Russia used some 500 types of weapons. Zelensky is calling for Washington and Western allies to bolster Ukraine's air defense. Meanwhile, Russia's spy chief says that he's spoken with the director of the CIA. He says that they've agreed to call each other at any time to discuss, quote, issues of interest. The 2 intelligence agencies have been intense rivals for years. Meanwhile, Zelensky says that Ukraine is on track to withdraw from the Ottawa Convention, the 1997 treaty that bans using, producing, or stockpiling landmines. Ukraine signed in 2005. Zelensky says that Russia isn't part of the treaty and has been using mines against Ukraine's military and civilians in the war. The country's parliament still needs to approve it before it can withdraw from the treaty. A veteran Winnipeg sportscaster who has become a strong advocate for addiction recovery is set to receive the Order of Canada this week. Scott Oak co-founded the Bruce and Ann Oak Memorial Foundation and the Bruce Oak Recovery Center in honor of his late son. Oak is scheduled to receive our country's highest civilian honor on Canada Day in Ottawa. He'll be joined there by Vancouver-born actor Ryan Reynolds and musician Heather Rankin, among others. 3 other Manitobans were previously named to the Order of Canada in December. Disability champion Orland Backstrom, veterinarian Kenneth Moulds, and journalist John Longhurst were among 88 new appointees. The members of the order are honored for distinguished service to a particular community or field. Taking a look at the current traffic situation, this is the Norwood Bridge. Let us know if you spot any delays, stalls, or crashes when it's safe and legal to do so. CTV Morning, WPG.
Canada's benchmark stock index, the S&P TSX Composite, rose by about 0.75 percentage point last week, and it's now up about 8% so far in 2025. It will begin today's trading day at 26,692 points. Meanwhile, U.S. stock markets posted larger gains last week, and futures contracts on the 3 main U.S. stock indices were higher this morning. Shares of Celestica, the Toronto-based manufacturer of electronics and computing components, rose to a new multi-year high on Friday of $209.03 per share. It's been a remarkable rally for Celestica stock. The stock plunged between early February and early April, but since April the 4th, it has soared by 122%. Celestica makes products for the so-called hyperscalers, tech giants who are building huge data and computing centers. Finally, the Canadian dollar was up slightly versus the U.S. dollar this morning, trading at 73.1 cents U.S. From the BNN Bloomberg Newsroom in Toronto, I'm Paul Bagnall.
If you're not quite sure what you're doing for Canada Day yet, Joseph Bernacki's got a great idea for you, and he's live at the Forks. Good morning.
Good morning, Ainsley, and good morning, Winnipeg. Yeah, it's actually a beautiful morning here at the Forks. Partly cloudy skies, and we're going to be celebrating Canada Day, of course, tomorrow. It's what we've been previewing throughout CTV Morning Live today as Canada turns 158 tomorrow. As the communications and marketing advisor told us in the last hour here, they have programming running until 7 o'clock. The majority of it is outside. Coming up throughout the 7 o'clock hour today, we're going to be talking with the creative director behind the Many Nations One Heartbeat program. That's been 11 days of programming that they've been doing, running up until Canada Day, of course, which is tomorrow. Later on in the show, we're going to be talking with the collaborators from Pitaquay Skate Park, learning about some of the spray painting and skateboarding designs and things like that they're going to be doing as well. There's going to be a basketball tournament, live music, food trucks, lots of arts and crafts, different entertainment happening outside, so you'll want to head down here tomorrow. Early in the morning, it's going to be starting. Things are going to be happening around 9 a.m., and we'll be back coming up shortly on CTV Morning Live to tell you more about it.
Thank you, Joseph. Danny, when it's that pleasant out in the morning when I'm covering the live, I know that the afternoon, evening is going to be a scorcher. Is that the case today?
Well, we are looking at a high of 27 here today, Ainsley. Right now, the sun peeking out behind those clouds. That's going to be a common rain all morning. Slight chance of showers as we head into the afternoon. Now, while we have that high of 27, we do have the risk of thunderstorms. No warnings or watches issued for Manitoba so far today, but the risk of thunderstorms is there throughout most of the province. But the sun is just coming hotter and hotter as we speak. The wind, though, is coming out of the west-northwest at 19 right now. That is expected to pick up as we move through the day, gusting up to about 50. For the rest of the province, much the same today. Temperatures hovering in the mid-20s for most of the south, and up north, around 20 degrees or so. Churchill a little bit cooler than that. And as we are talking about Canada Day, some good news. Plenty of sunshine and hot temperatures in the forecast. I'll have more of that coming up shortly.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
What are you doing for Canada Day? We want to know. It's time to check in for our question of the day. What are your plans? And our question of the day has now moved from Twitter, so we want you to text us instead. Let us know your name as well. So it's 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And at CTV Morning Live, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, and whether they're furry, feathered, or even scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions, they've been amazing, and we want to see even more of them. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, please send them our way. Drop your pet photos in a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca. Catch us every Thursday between 6 and 9 to find out if your pet is the Pet of the Week on CTV Morning Live. Here's Taché Avenue. It's literally empty. One guy just walking, having a peaceful walk. Okay, we will bring you into your Monday. News, weather, and traffic coming up. Good morning. It's 7:16. Tomorrow is Canada Day, which means some government services and businesses may be closed or operating at reduced hours. All civic offices in Winnipeg will be closed on Canada Day. Recycling and garbage will be collected as regularly scheduled for people with Tuesday as their collection day. Winnipeg Transit will run on an enhanced Sunday schedule, which includes additional Blue Line trips between Assiniboine Park and the Forks. Transit will also offer additional late night service, which will last buses leaving downtown at around 12:40 a.m. All libraries as well as fitness and leisure centers are closed. All indoor pools will open Tuesday, but outdoor pools will be closed. Waiting pools start opening on a staggered basis beginning on July 1st. Grant Park Shopping Centre at St. Vital Centre will be closed on Tuesday. CF Polo Park, Garden City Shopping Centre, Kildonan Place, and Outlet Collection Winnipeg will be open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. All liquor marts in Winnipeg and Brandon will be open from 11 to 6 on Canada Day, except True North Square. Rural hours vary by location, though. The Canadian Museum for Human Rights is open with free admission from 10 a.m. to 5 on Tuesday. The Manitoba Museum is open from 10 to 4, and the Winnipeg Art Gallery, Gamayuk, opens from 11 to 5 on Canada Day. For a full list of Canada Day celebrations taking place in Winnipeg and across Manitoba, including at the Forks, Assiniboine Park, and Princess Auto Stadium, head to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. As Canadians face an affordability crisis, there's something to celebrate on Canada Day as the federal government's promised income tax cut kicks in on July 1st. Because it starts midway through the year, the tax rate will drop from 15% to 14.5% on the first $57,375 of Canadians' taxable income this year. Next year, it will drop down to 14%. The government says that nearly 22 million Canadians are expected to benefit. The projects there, they project, it will be $27 billion in tax savings for Canadians over 5 years. The Winnipeg Jets have selected 5 players in the recent NHL entry draft, including Manitoba-born Owen Martin. Born in Oak Bank, Martin was selected in the 3rd round as the 92nd overall pick. The 18-year-old has spent the past 2 seasons as a center with the Spokane Chiefs, the American team that plays in the Western Hockey League.
Right now, we're all still kind of soaking it all in. We're all getting texts from everybody we know. It's been unbelievable. But yeah, tonight, probably have even more people over, have a nice little barbecue.
Martin is only the 3rd Manitoban to be selected in the Jets since their return in 2011. He said that he looks forward to showing his newest teammates parts of Manitoba, including Oak Bank, during the Jets development camp this week. The other new selections for the Jets include defenseman Sasha Boumediene, forward Victor Klingshell, and defenseman Edison Engel, and forward Jacob Cloutier. Taking a look at the current traffic situation, this is the St. James Bridge. It looks like a smooth drive. If you have any traffic tips or updates, send them to us. CTV Morning WPG on X. The boss is definitely not lost.
Where you going? Where you from? Where you going? Where you from?
Bruce Springsteen's Lost albums are out now. They include 83 songs spanning 7 albums. This is just one of the many songs you'll hear called Where You Going, Where You From. Some of the tracks date back to 40 years. And Louis Capaldi is back with a new single called Survive.
I swear to God I'll survive if it kills me too.
Capaldi has been on a 2-year break from music and touring. His track Someone You Love topped the charts when it was first released back in 2018. Capaldi also surprised fans during his return to the stage this weekend for the Glastonbury Festival. He performed in a mini set for 7 songs. Alex Warren is always on your minds lately.
Baby, it's the way the times are changing. You're not stuck in the middle, frozen in a fire.
Warren has been soaring the music charts with his song Ordinary, and now he's back for more with this collab with Rose. You could order the limited 7-inch vinyl and CD. Warren will be playing in Montreal on August 1st. Beat the Monday Blues with American Ninja at 7, followed by Yes Chef at 9, then Unwind with E-Talk at 10:30. It's all right here on CTV.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Taking a look outside right now, 17 degrees in Winnipeg, the wind out of the west-northwest at 19 kilometers per hour. The pressure's rising, the humidity sitting at 94%. Pretty beautiful start to your Monday. Now, some people are taking it off with Canada Day tomorrow, and of course the kids are done school for the year. Looking around the province in the south, 17 as I mentioned here in Winnipeg, much the same throughout south central Manitoba, and pretty much similar story to the west as well. If we take a look up north in the Flin Flon area, 17 degrees, 16 up in Lynn Lake. That air quality warning that existed for much of last week has ended for there. 5 degrees in Churchill right now and 14 in Thompson. And over the last few hours, we did see a little bit of rain. We could see more as we go throughout the day. There is a chance of thunderstorms, but other than that, lots of sunshine here in Winnipeg, reaching a high of 27 late in the afternoon. Now, taking a look tomorrow, speaking of heat, 29 degrees for Canada Day here in Winnipeg. Much the same on Wednesday, high of 28. Thursday, Friday, highs of 31. I heard Ainsley say those wading pools and whatnot are starting to open, so perfect time for that. And as we head into the weekend, 27 on Saturday and much of the same on Sunday. Our weather pick of the day comes from Lori out at Hollow Water. A curious young black bear peeking right into our screens there. Keep those photos coming. You can send them in to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
CTV Morning Live School Day Forecast is brought to you by Rainbow Stage, your season to sing.
Thanks, Danny. As more studies outline the negative impact smartphones can have on our kids, some parents are dialing back access to the technology. They're turning to landlines as a way to allow their kids to stay in touch. Here's CTV's Heather Wright.
No screen, no apps, no scrolling. After years of saying no to their kids' requests for a smartphone, some parents are now saying yes to a landline.
I just had this light bulb moment where I was like, oh, parents have choice here.
Well, Karen Morse quickly shot down her 9-year-old daughter's request for a smartphone last summer. She didn't want to block her kid's desire to connect with friends and family. So for her 10th birthday, Molly got a pink phone, and Morse began setting up a landline pod in their Portland, Maine community, convincing other parents to do the same.
I did a lot of outreach in this area and just kind of really tried to sell that this is an option. It's an option for many reasons. I love the idea that, there's independence there.
As more research emerges surrounding the potential harms of smartphones and social media use in young people, the popularity of landlines and flip phones is increasing, both seen as tools that can help delay giving kids a smartphone.
You would be surprised how easy it is to get a flip phone.
Jenny Perez is the founder of Unplugged Canada, a national nonprofit encouraging parents and kids to sign a pledge to delay smartphone access until 14 years old. But for that to work, Perez acknowledges both kids and parents need friends and community buy-in, so they aren't the only ones.
The fact that they know they are not alone anymore and there are other like-minded parents, it's helping them to pause that and say, no, I know you're not alone. There are other kids that are also whose parents are going to wait. So we're going to do this together.
Old technology, a new tool in the quest for a smartphone-free childhood. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
The Winnipeg Sea Bears season continues, and we want you to be part of the action. The Sea Bears will hit the court against the Calgary Surge on July 17th. So if you want to be in the stands, we've got a contest for you. CTV Morning Live is giving away a family pack of 4 tickets to give away to the game. Head to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Hit our contest page for all of the entry details. Don't miss your shot. And don't miss out on your opportunity to spend Canada Day at the Forks. We'll have some details coming up at 7:28. Canada Day at the Forks this year. What does it look like? Well, Joseph Bernacki is going to let us know. Who are you with now?
Thanks, Ainsley. Good morning, Winnipeg. Yeah, at this time I'm very pleased to be joined by Victoria Perry. She's the creative director behind the Many Nations One Heartbeat programming that's been taking place for the last number of days here. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm actually one of the co-directors with Sunday Kwesi-Capo. We're both the founders of Kuwaitna Consulting.
Wonderful. Well, tell us a little bit. This is the first year you were telling me before we were live that you've had 11 days of programming. What does it look like here at the Forks?
Yeah, so it's 11 days of programming spanning being bookended by Indigenous Peoples Day and Canada Day. And so the 9 days in between, we're focusing each on a different treaty region of Manitoba. So within those 9 days, there are 7 numbered treaties within Manitoba, and we're trying to focus each day on the learnings, the land, and the teachings from that area, that specific treaty. And then there's also the modern day treaty with the Métis Nation that is presently ongoing. So we're focusing one of the days on the Métis Nation. And finally, there are disputed land claims in northern Manitoba to be part of Inuit land up in Nunavut. And so one of the days is really reflecting on Nunavut. So it's the 9 days in between where we're having this focused experience on the agreements that are here within the lands of Manitoba, bookended by those 2 days.
Saturday, you were telling me, this past Saturday when you guys were here, had a chance to have an Inuit market as one of the things. That sounds really neat. Tell us a little bit more about what happened here.
Yeah, it was great. We had an Inuit market. We had Inuit artisans come down, folks from the Manitoba Inuit Association, I believe Tungasugit, were also here on site selling their items and providing more information about who Inuit are. We also had a kuldik lighting here at the TRCM building where the community got to come into the space and receive teachings from Inuit elder Martha Peet.
And tell us a little bit about what's happening from Indigenous Peoples Day, Canada Day, as we highlight the end of this programming.
Yeah, so Canada Day I'm very excited about it. Really, we're celebrating all of the people who now live here in what is now Manitoba. So all of these other days leading up to it, we focused on specific areas and peoples. And now on Canada Day, we're welcoming everybody. First of all, everyone was welcome the whole week, but we're celebrating everybody and having presentations by newcomers, by dancers, by folklorama. There's a bunch of different folks who are involved in this big Canada Day celebration. So really celebrating what Manitoba is today and who we all are here in these lands.
Victoria, we really appreciate having you on our show this morning, and we're going to be back at 7:42 talking about Pitaquay Skate Park, some of the different events happening with them here at the Forks. Stay tuned. We'll be on in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Joseph. Danny, well, the Forks is great too because there's always a plan. If you get too hot, you can go inside. If you get too cool, you can go outside. It's just perfect. But hopefully for Canada Day, it's nice out.
Yeah, it is shaping up to be a beautiful start to the week right now here in Winnipeg. 17 degrees, the wind out of the west-northwest at 19 clicks. Pressure's rising, the humidity sitting at 94%. Now, a little bit different than our start to the morning. We saw some rain throughout the south and southwest parts of the province. It clipped Winnipeg around 4 or 5 a.m. A few raindrops here and there. There is a chance of rain and the risk of thunderstorms for the rest of the day here in Winnipeg, though high of 27. As I mentioned, that risk of thunderstorms. The wind's going to be picking up out of the northwest, 30 gusting up to 50. But as we head overnight, clearing, wind out of the west at 15, a low of 17. And for your Canada Day, 29 degree high, Plenty of sunshine. Again, a little bit windier than we'd like, but that breeze could be nice, especially if you're out celebrating July 1st with your family. Over the next few days, Wednesday, more sunshine, high of 28. Thursdays when it gets really hot, 31 degrees. The normal seasonal average right now is 25, so Thursday, Friday, very, very hot. Saturday and Sunday, those temperatures continue above seasonal averages, 27 on both days, Ainsley.
Thank you. We're now less than 24 hours away from the Prime Minister Mark Carney's self-imposed deadline to take down internal trade barriers in Canada. Even though he's largely kept election promises, experts say that bigger changes are needed.
We need more and better rail. We need more and better roads. We need improvements to our bridges, to our ports.
Prime Minister Carney has kept his big election promise to take down internal trade barriers by Canada Day. Most barriers to trade in Canada exist at the provincial level, meaning it's up to the provinces and territories to remove their own trade barriers. Ontario, Nova Scotia, PEI, Quebec, and Manitoba have all introduced or passed legislation to reduce barriers. Experts also say if Mark Carney is adamant about getting provinces to match Ottawa's free trade efforts, he could use transfer payments to try and convince premiers to reduce their barriers. Canada plans to take a fresh look at addressing harmful behavior online as the Liberals attempt to get legislation passed for a third time. Canada's Justice Minister says that the government hasn't decided whether to rewrite or simply reintroduce the Online Harms Act. It was originally brought forward last year, but it didn't pass. Measures addressing deepfakes and child exploitation are expected to be included in legislation coming in the near future. Two Liberal election promises. The minister says that some online harm measures could be included in a separate crime bill expected to be tabled this fall. A plan to ban protests near schools, community centers, and places of worship is moving ahead. The federal justice minister says that Ottawa will follow through with the measure after similar bylaws were passed in several GTA cities.
So having some criminal code bite to making arrests in these situations will help, but it still doesn't really solve the big issue of the balance between our Constitution and our ultimate right to peaceful and lawful protest. And that's always been a kind of a rub because quite often it is unlawful, but it's peaceful, and it's really hard to find the balance and how long to let it go.
The Liberals promised to bring in the so-called bubble zone laws during the election campaign. A number of civil liberties advocates argue the criminal code already covers the kinds of behaviors the federal government is trying to address. Some Tim Hortons customers who thought that they won a boat playing Roll Up the Rim can go ahead and sue.
Under Quebec law, you can ask for what's called specific performance. So you told me I want a boat. I want delivery of the boat. That's what our clients in the class is alleging for now. Obviously, if they want to offer an equivalent amount in money and save on the delivery fees of the boat, I'm sure my client would entertain that.
A Quebec Superior Court judge has authorized a class action lawsuit against Tim Hortons after customers received emails claiming that they'd won a boat and trailer playing Roll Up the Rim last year. It turns out those emails to 500,000 customers were a mistake. The judge says that the class action can go forward, but it has limited it to Quebec residents. The law firm says that clients should be awarded the boat and trailer they were told that they won. The lawyer representing the claimants is also asking for punitive damages of $10,000 per customer. The prize's value is reportedly at about $64,000. A three-day event bringing festivities to Tyndall Park neighborhood kicked off on Sunday. Known as Canada Fest, the annual event at Tyndall Community Market includes food trucks, local vendors, performances, Zumba, and is free to attend.
I think we're offering something a little bit different, which is, Tyndall Community Market featuring the food park. There's lots of food options here. You're not going to find this anywhere else in Winnipeg.
The event runs today from 4 to 9 p.m. at the Tyndall Park Community Center, both inside and outside. It concludes on Canada Day. Fireworks are anticipated for the final day at 10:35 p.m., weather permitting. Taking a look now at the current traffic situation. This is Pembina Highway at 7:36 on your Monday morning. So far, so good. Traffic tips, let us know. CTV Morning WPG. Here are your gas prices now, too. The Canadian average, it stands at $1.35, while the provincial average is lower at $1.31. In Winnipeg, the average is at $1.29. The lowest price in the city, $1.17. All this information available at gasbuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
It's almost Canada Day, not quite. It's currently 17 degrees outside. For more news, weather, and traffic, stick with us.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Beautiful start here Monday morning here in Winnipeg, 17 degrees, cloudy skies, but a little sunshine poking through, the wind coming out of the west-northwest, pressure's rising, humidity sitting at 94%. We saw a few raindrops earlier this morning here in Winnipeg. Kind of rolled through the west. As you can see, for the most part, it did miss us. We could see a few more raindrops as the day progresses. Today around the province, let's start up north in Churchill. High of 18, chance of some showers. In Thompson, Gillam, and Island Lake, highs of 20 and 23. That risk of thunderstorms as we look to the west out near Flin Flon. High of 24. Again, thunderstorms in the forecast. We want to see the rain up in that region. We don't want to see those lightning strikes, though. To our west, out in Brandon, Neepawa, Dauphin, and Swan River, highs of 26. It is expected to clear. Maybe a little cloudy start to the day. Those storms did roll through overnight, but clearing for a beautiful sunny afternoon here in Winnipeg and the capital regions. Highs of 24, 26, and 27. That risk of thunderstorms this afternoon, but plenty of sunshine as well. Much the same over the border in Ontario, highs of 23. Taking a look at the long-range forecast, tomorrow, Canada Day, 29 and lots of sunshine, and the good times are going to be rolling throughout the rest of the week. Highs of 28 on Wednesday, 31 on Thursday and Friday, and more sunshine on the weekend, Ainsley.
Thank you, Danny. Sunshine goes really great with skateboarding, and the Forks is a fantastic place to do that. At any skill level, really. Joseph Bernacki's going to let us know what's going on.
We've got a lot of people, Ainsley, behind me that are much more talented than I am. If I were to try to get on a skateboard, I'm very pleased to be joined by Dan McRory. He's the executive director from Pitaquay Skate Park. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So you guys are going to be doing some fun programming here tomorrow as we celebrate Canada Day. What's it going to look like? Tell us a little bit about what people can expect, Dan.
So we're going to be set up here with some skateboards and gear. So if anyone has been wanting to try skateboarding and has been afraid to, we've got instructors with us, and we're going to be offering free gear and
some lessons.
Skateboards. Yeah. So we'll be teaching, and we've also got some like fabric spray paint and markers. So we'll be doing up some T-shirts. You can bring your own. Same with skateboards. We'll paint up our skateboard decks. We'll have some grip tape. So. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
All sounds like a lot of fun. Talk to us about what some of your colleagues and friends are doing right now behind us.
Well, right now we're just activating the park. There's so many good obstacles here. We got Sal on the flat bar. We're skating the snake, and there's all kinds of ledges and yeah, fun stuff to do.
I'm sure it's a question you get asked a lot, Dan. What do you love the most about this hobby?
Well, I love the camaraderie. It's a great culture. And it's also a really healthy and active way to stay active that doesn't necessarily involve group sport. So it's an individual thing, but it's best done with a group.
Let's talk about the lessons for tomorrow. If you're someone like myself who's never tried skateboarding before, I'll admit I'd have a little bit of fear if I were to try it. What would you say to somebody like, hey, don't be afraid, give us a try? What would you say to encourage somebody to join you guys tomorrow?
Well, I'd say we have good gear, and also even better, we have good instructors. And 5 minutes with the instructors, and you'll be able to get on, push, and ride. And the nice thing about skateboarding is it's a great way to get around. You don't have to use these obstacles to be a skateboarder. Yeah. You can just get on your board and ride.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, Dan's going to be joining us again at 8:06. We'll be back here from the skate park, and we'll be bringing you more Canada Day coverage from the Forks, what to expect here on CTV Morning Live. So stay tuned.
Thank you, Joseph. If you're planning to hit the road this summer, then this next story is for you. A visual journey through some Canadian roadside marvels. The perfect spots to see as more Canadians choose to travel within our own country. CTV's Sarah Plowman on the hidden gems waiting to be discovered.
In a country as large as Canada, the open road feels endless. Exits that lure you to lunch or a destination of another kind. The promise of the world's largest axe in Nakawik, New Brunswick.
It's intriguing, very different.
The axe is as advertised, 15 meters tall, 10 meters wide, built in the early 90s when the community was named Forestry Capital of Canada.
Pretty large, pretty intimidating. Probably chop some big logs with that.
It brings a lot of tourists in, and even the community is very proud of what we have here.
Canada is full of roadside attractions, like the Big Apple, the world's largest curling rock. How about a giant goose, or the world's largest beaver, pierogi, nickel, mosquito, and on and on. There's Mac the Moose, who once lost his tallest title to Norway, but reclaimed it with taller antlers.
The idea that these quirky, whimsical things were a good way of putting your small community on the map started in the middle of the last century, in the 1950s when people were hitting the roads again. It started in the States and it definitely crept up to Canada.
Not all hold records, but hold our attention, like this big potato at a market outside of Fredericton.
New Brunswick's roadside attractions are a perfect mix of folk art, tourist traps, and civic pride.
Take the world's largest fiddleheads, salmon or lobster in Shediac.
Cute or scary? It's cute, yeah. But lobsters are really scary and really weird.
Dots on the map that keep drawing drivers away from the road. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Shediac, New Brunswick.
Hello, everyone. Nikki Reyes inside the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday forward. Let's head to Ottawa. The Red Blacks hosting the Argonauts. Third quarter, Nick Arbuckle going deep. Looks like a gift of an interception, but the ball ends up in DeMonte Coxey's hands. Red Blacks DB CJ Holden bobbles it, and Coxey shows off some incredible reflexes to really catch. That unlikely reception earns your must-see moment. And Wimbledon kicks off today on TSN. Tune in to the network all morning and afternoon for coverage. Carlos Alcaraz and Felix Auger-Aliassime are in action. That's all from the SportsCenter newsroom. Have a great day.
TSN Must See Moments brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, your Hunter Douglas shade provider for over 40 years. CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Beautiful start to your Monday out here in Winnipeg. Now there is some cloud coverage that's kind of coming and going as we move through the morning. Every second time I'm out here, the sun's right in my eyes, and now it's a little overcast, 17 degrees though. The wind's coming out of the west-northwest. I can feel that breeze coming through. Now that's expected to pick up as we move throughout the day. High of 27 here in Winnipeg today. There is a chance of some showers this morning as well as into the afternoon. Risk a thunderstorm. Similar story throughout much of Manitoba today. Overnight here in Winnipeg, it is expected to clear. Low of 17 or so. So beautiful evening ahead. And then Canada Day, of course, is tomorrow. There's so much happening around the city and province with a high of 29 here in Winnipeg. Plenty of sunshine and good news. We're going to see that throughout most of the province as well. But for now, a really nice start to your day, and it's shaping up to be a beautiful rest of the morning.
Thanks, Danny. When school's out, many kids love to take their bikes out and ride free during summer vacation. But many children will never experience the thrill of a bike ride. Research shows that more than 80% of people with autism and 90% of those with autism will never ride a bike. Variety, the Children's Charity of Manitoba, is hoping to change that, but it needs your help. Joining us now from Variety, the Children's Charity, is CEO Jeff Leva. Good morning, Jeff.
Hey, good morning, Ainsley. How are you?
So Bike Camp, it's introducing cycling to kids for the very first time who might not have otherwise. Why cycling? Why biking?
Well, I mean, I think we all think back to our childhood and getting on a bike and riding off with our friends, and you get freedom, and as a family you have an opportunity to do so much more during our summer months, right? And so the kids that come out to our bike camp, many of them have tried to ride bikes in the past, but they've just been unsuccessful. So we run a program that's very, very different in terms of how kids learn. And they get to go on sort of a training bike, let's call it, and over the course of several days have to start to use their balance and are prompted by volunteers to continue to pay attention to what's ahead of them. And so this program's phenomenal. We've been doing it for probably 5 years now here. And the program has a 80% success rate for kids that are living with autism, kids that are living with cerebral palsy, and so a lot of kids that do, that really again would have a challenge just sort of learning from mom or dad or their brother and their sister. They go through a much more formal program.
And by the end of it, I've had the privilege of meeting with some of these families, the joy in their faces when they get to the end of the journey. What does that look like from start to finish?
Oh, I mean, well, day one is a lot of frustration, obviously, when kids get going. But, when you look into the stands at the East End Arena and you see the parents and you look around with all of our volunteers who are helping these kids, and then the kids themselves, I mean, it's just transformational, right? Like the smiles on everybody's faces from the kids that are actually now able to ride this bike, and they've experienced frustration, they've felt different, and now they're doing everything that their friends are doing, right, in terms of being able to ride that bike.
It's fully booked for this season. Correct. Tons of volunteers. Yeah. Paint a picture of what it's like actually in the room. How many individuals?
Well, someone told me this a number of years ago. I think it's something like about 700 individual volunteer shifts are required for the 2 weeks that we run the camp just alone. So you've got a team of 2 volunteers that are working with each child. We've brought a group up from down south of the border that are from an organization called I Can Shine. This is their program for success, and so someone's working one-on-one with each kid over the course of each session. There's 5 sessions a day, 8 riders, lots of people in the stands. So, people can certainly come out and watch and see it. And of course, the program costs us a significant amount of money. So we're always looking for people that might have a heart to want to help our kids and can donate to our program.
We're almost out of time. Anything else? There must be so many benefits for these children, both physical and emotional.
Yeah, I mean, I always say it's my favorite 2 weeks of the year, and it really is, because every year, it's the same process where you see these kids succeed, and that's what we are as an organization. We're there to help kids succeed in life, and so riding a bike is one of those milestones that a lot of kids wouldn't be able to achieve if it wasn't for all the volunteers and dedicated staff.
Thank you so much, Jeff, and Variety Manitoba doing great things in our community. Coming up after the break, Joseph Bernanke is live at the Forks talking about Canada Day. Stay with us. Time for Let's Celebrate. Let's see who's having a celebration today. Happy 41st birthday on Canada Day to Gilbert. Love from your family and friends. Happy birthday to Daniel with best wishes from family and friends. Happy 9th birthday to Emily. Love Mama and Papa. Happy birthday, Wyatt, from your family and friends. Happy 8th birthday to Alicia. Love from your family. Happy birthday, Oli, from your mom and family. And congratulations to Ashley on graduating with honors in nursing. Love your whole family. Someone you care about is having a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or graduation. Let's celebrate. To submit your celebration, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Fill out our form at least 2 days in advance. It will also enter you into our contest monthly for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Let's Celebrate, brought to you by Party Stuff, 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca.
morning, Manitoba. Happy Monday. Maybe it feels like Monday to you. Maybe it doesn't. Of course, with Canada Day tomorrow. If you don't have plans, we've got a recommendation for you. The best gathering place in Manitoba, the Forks, where everybody comes together, whether it's cultural programming, there's a basketball stuff going on, there's an opportunity to learn how to skateboard, and so much more. That is where Joseph Bernacki is. Our news show is also going to be letting you know of when things are open and closed during Canada Day as well. First, here's a look at your headlines. Roads have changed. The destination may be the same, but you'll get there by bus. It's now going to be different. This TikTok on the block, what President Trump is saying about who might be ready to acquire the video sharing giant, and flipping out over this decidedly wooden taking on Canada's most famous comfort food delicacy. Well, Canada Day would be a great day to have an ice cream cone if it's nice enough out. What do you think, Daniel?
Well, it's shaping up to be just that, Ainsley. And today, much of the same, actually. It's 17 degrees right now. A little bit cloudy over downtown Winnipeg. Wind out of the west-northwest at 19 clicks. Pressure's rising. Humidity sitting at 94%. We made it to the end of June. Kids are out of school. Many of you are taking today off, as tomorrow is Canada Day. Really nice, long weekend for you. Now, we had a little bit of rain very early here in the morning, around 4 when I was driving in. A few drops. It did come through western Manitoba and from Dauphin down through Brandon and then down through the U.S. We could see a few more raindrops trickle as we move through the day, and there is a little bit of a risk of thunderstorms in and around most of the province. As we head midday, you can see those little splotches throughout the bottom of the screen in southern Manitoba. Up north, much of the same. As we head into into Monday evening, clearing up overnight, fairly clear. As we mentioned, tomorrow is Canada Day. Starting off really nice, fairly clear here in the south. A little more coverage up in the north with some chances of some showers. As we head into the evening, we could see a little storm system develop late. So if you are catching fireworks, I know there's some happening at Assiniboia Downs, other places around the city and province. You may see a little bit of rainfall clearing heading into your Wednesday, though. Taking a look tomorrow, high of 29 here in Winnipeg for Canada Day, 28 on Wednesday with plenty of sunshine. Thursday, 31 degrees, way higher than our seasonal averages right now. Same thing on Friday. And for the weekend, 27 on both Saturday and Sunday. Our weather art of the day comes from Mitchell. A nice little look outside there. Kids are out of school, and we would love to see some of their artwork over the coming months. You can send those in to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thank you, Daniel. Changes to Winnipeg's bus system are now officially here. Winnipeg Transit has officially launched its new primary transit network. The first bus rolled out yesterday early morning from Portage and Spence. It marks the biggest overhaul to the city's bus system in its 142-year history. Mayor Scott Gillingham, city councillors and transit staff were on hand to celebrate the launch and to encourage Winnipeggers to be patient and provide feedback.
Please be patient with the transit drivers as well, our operators. This is all new to them also. So if you have, if you have questions though, or you want to provide feedback, please do so. Please provide feedback to 311 to make sure that we can adjust as need be.
The new design is based upon the spine and feeder system to improve frequency, connectivity, and service efficiency. The city is looking to pay close attention to the ridership number to evaluate the project's progress. And if you want to get information, go to winnipegtransit.com. Canada has removed its digital services tax hours before it was set to take effect in a bid to advance trade talks with the U.S. This comes just days after U.S. President Donald Trump called off trade talks with Canada over its targeting of U.S. tech firms. Minister of Finance Francois Philippe Champagne says that, quote, rescinding the digital services tax will allow negotiations of a new economic and security relationship with the United States to make vital progress and reinforce our work to create jobs and build prosperity for all Canadians. The Finance Ministry said that Prime Minister Mark Carney and President Trump will resume trade negotiations in order to agree on a deal by July 21st. Meanwhile, in an interview with Fox News airing yesterday morning, U.S. President Donald Trump continued with his comments about annexation.
I love Canada,
Frankly, Canada should be the 51st state, okay? It really should. Canada is a very tough country to deal with, I will say that.
But you said
I love Canada.
you have the USMCA in place.
I know, but
you'll have to deal with it.
USMCA is no good if they cheat.
The U.S. 90-day pause on global tariffs is set to expire July 9th. U.S. President Donald Trump says that he's found a group of buyers for social media giant TikTok. The U.S. president told Fox News he's got a group of, quote, very wealthy people as potential buyers. He says that he'll reveal their identities in about 2 weeks, adding that the deal would probably need China's approval. Trump claims that China's president would likely do that too. The deadline for the China-based company to divest its U.S. assets of TikTok is September 17th, after Trump extended the deadline 3 times. Jeremy Gervan has been asked to construct a lot of things in his career, but a poutine catapult was a first.
This was pretty hilarious, as Canadian as can be.
Okay, well, he was asked to make a contraption that could pitch fake cheese curds onto a pile of pretend poutine. Okay, and he ended up getting inspiration from the catapult, first designed by Leonardo da Vinci. The first challenge was to create enough force without breaking it, but he sorted it out. After about 400 hours of work, he was able to debut at the local Francophone festival, showcasing how wood carved would look like curds. It could be catapulted about 30 meters into a poutine dish featuring chainsaw carved fries. Taking a look now at the current traffic situation. This is St. Mary's Road. It looks like a smooth drive on our end, but if you have any traffic tips to share, let us know. CTV Morning WPG.
CTV Morning Live Traffic brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
If you still need something to do for Canada Day, Joseph Bernacki is at the Forks letting us know of all of the various activities.
Thanks, Ainsley. Yeah, good morning, Winnipeg. If you're just joining us, we got another segment again with Pitaquay Skate Park. We're spending time at the Forks. Very pleased to be joined again by Dan McRory, Executive Director, and Amber Clark joins us as well. She is the board chair from the park. Pleasure to have you both on our show again.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dan, we're talking about summer programming at Pitaquay Skate Park. Talk to us a little bit about what you guys have planned for the coming months. It's a great time to get out and grab a board.
That's right. Yeah, it is, for sure. And so we are at the plaza here on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, offering free lessons. We have boards and gear if you don't have any, so come on down. And that's from 12 to 4. And then on Mondays and Tuesdays, we're going out to parks around the city. So if you keep an eye on our Instagram or our website, weekly we'll be posting what skate park we're going to be at. So keep an eye out and we'll be at your community park.
And this is in addition to all the different things happening tomorrow, which you guys are really excited about as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Amber, I had a chance to interview you before on our morning show when we were in Portage Place. People are familiar with Pitaquay Skate Park. You guys, I understand, are going to be looking for a new location in the future, obviously, with transformations happening downtown. What can you tell us at this time?
Yeah, so we've been really happy for our home at Portage Place. You know, Portage Place and True North have been really great hosts to us, but that's going to be a new space that's changing. I've heard it's going to be a grocery store, and as a downtown resident myself, I'm all for that. So we have a few temporary solutions in play for this coming winter. I won't say too much yet. And then we're looking into a really awesome permanent home moving forward. We'd love to make some announcements in the future about what those are, but we're not quite there yet. But I can tell you they're going to be really awesome and exciting. And we're really looking forward to continuing, activating the downtown community, being a safe, welcoming space for all sorts of people, not just skaters. I mean, if anybody's ever walked by us on Portage Place and you peek inside, you can see that, we're a thriving space. People love us. We love the people that come and we share our space with. And we're really looking forward to the next chapter and continuing to activate downtown Winnipeg and be a space for all of you to Pitaquay. Come on in.
Right on. Well, we appreciate seeing you again on our show, Amber. Thanks for coming in. Dan as well. They're going to be having skateboarding lessons here tomorrow and so much more. We'll be back on CTV Morning Live from the Forks. Stay tuned.
Thanks, Joseph. There's new information out looking at the link between what we say and how we feel. The spotlight is particularly on revitalizing Indigenous languages. And as CTV's Alison Bamford explains, that doesn't just impact culture, it can also improve health.
His Cree name is Niwetston, and it means the four nests in the Sundance Lodgepole.
A name that carries strength and guidance passed down to Christine Fiddler's son in a ceremony. It's a long-standing tradition for the Waterhen Lake First Nation family.
My own parents have given each of their children Cree names, and I've given both my children Cree names as well.
Fiddler isn't fluent in Cree, but she is trying to learn, picking up bits and pieces from elders and podcasting to pass down to her children.
We're starting to see the importance of talking our Cree language and learning it.
Part of that importance is linked to health and well-being. New research out of the University of British Columbia suggests speaking traditional language is closely linked to improvements in physical and mental health and success in education for Indigenous people.
And today we're going to learn how to say eagle in Michif.
To reach a broader audience, educators and content creators are revitalizing their language online. Simon Bird is the man behind hashtag Cree Simon Says, a Facebook group that connects others with simple Cree teachings.
They feel that connection, and when you feel that connection, you're not a stranger and you belong.
Offline, he's teaching his daughter about Indigenous medicines and the Cree words attached to each.
When you name it by its rightful name in Indigenous languages, you start to take a look at it differently, like it's a person instead of a thing.
Small words that can make a big difference. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
Whether you're working today or not, it's a beautiful start to your Monday here in Winnipeg. 18 degrees right now, cloudy skies with the wind coming out of the west-northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. The pressure's rising, the humidity sitting at 92%. Tomorrow is Canada Day. Some folks are taking advantage throughout the province of an extra long weekend. Now, taking a look outside of the perimeter, 18 in Portage right now, heading further west, 16 in Brandon. As we move up, 18 already in the Paw, and further north, 18 in Flin Flon, 16 in Thompson, 6 degrees right now in Churchill, high of 18 there today. As we move through the day, it is going to get pretty warm, 27 high here in Winnipeg today. There is a risk of some thunderstorms this afternoon in Winnipeg and most of the province, but those temperatures climbing as we move into Tuesday. Taking a look at our long-range forecast tomorrow, Canada Day, high of 29, plenty of sunshine. On Wednesday, more of the same, 28 degrees. Thursday, 31 degrees. Now that's well above our seasonal average of 25, much of the same Friday, and a beautiful weekend ahead, 27 degrees. Stick around. We'll be right back with more CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live School Day Forecast is brought to you by Rainbow Stage, your season to sing.
Good morning, it's 8:15. Extreme heat doesn't just impact physical health, it can take a serious toll on your mental health too. CNN's Mandy Gaither explains.
If the soaring temperatures have you feeling a little irritable, you're not alone.
Mental health and extreme heat is a real issue.
Clinical psychologist James McCowan with Massachusetts General Hospital says high heat exposure may cause those with underlying conditions like depression or anxiety to have heightened symptoms that can include increases in suicidal thinking, violent behavior, and substance use.
We know people with mental health issues have high rates of emergency room admissions in the context of heat waves.
McCowan says having a heat plan can help. First, before going out, check not only daily temperatures, but also the heat index so you know just how hot it's expected to be and to feel. Next, know your risks. Certain medications like antidepressants and antipsychotics may affect the body's ability to cool itself.
So talking to your prescriber or your primary care doctor is really key here. just to know if you're an at-risk person.
And stay hydrated, which includes drinking water, but also being aware of your caffeine intake. Finally, have a plan to get cool during the day if you need to. For those who are unhoused, that could include a cooling center or a public space with air conditioning.
There are even heat first aid kits you can get online. They have electrolytes, they have cooling things you can have stored in your home if you're in a place that experiences extreme heat.
For Health Minute, I'm Andy Gaither.
The Polish folk dance ensemble SPK Iskry has been around since 1967, celebrating Polish culture, dance, and heritage in Manitoba. The dance group is well known here, especially at the Polish Pavilion during Folklorama. But now the dancers are getting ready for a big trip to Greece, representing Canada at a large multicultural event. Joining us now from SPK Iskry are Magda Jagru and Chris Malkowitz. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. Now, you don't remember life without dance.
I don't.
You were 5 when you started.
Yes, dance has been around my whole life. It is the only form of dance I have ever danced is Polish folk dance. I think that's the same for you, maybe?
I took a jazz class when I was young.
Yeah. So tell us about this dance group. It's been around for a very long time. How did it begin, and why was it so important, not just at that time, but even today?
So it began in 1967. It was formed as part of the centennial celebration for Canada, and it was, a bunch of people were kind of getting together and doing these sorts of multicultural events and programs and things, and so Henrik Lawrence went to the Polish Combatants Association and said, I would like to take your kids and do this thing with them, and he taught the first dancers of Iskry how to Polish dance, and we've been going strong for almost 60 years since. So.
And it's still going strong. You've been to parts of North America, you've been to Poland. What was that experience like when people from Poland get to see you perform? What sort of experience did you get from that?
Poland is unforgettable. We've had both of our parents and our families, our husbands and your wife come and see us. So Poland is something I think we will never forget. The last time we went, there was about 30 of us that went from the group here. So imagine 30 of your closest friends that you grew up dancing with, sharing Polish traditions with, traveling with you overseas. It's unforgettable.
And for people out in Poland, they don't really follow these traditions that much anymore, right?
So they follow the traditions. However, we always laugh. My family in Poland says, Magda, you bring all these costumes and I would never know what to put with what. We've never put them on. We've never danced these dances. We don't know these steps that you're doing. So I think it's very refreshing for them, and also how beautiful to have us, who I was born in Canada. My parents immigrated here, but to be following this and to be, so deeply rooted in me and to pass it along to our kids hopefully one day. Yep. So
that makes Canada even more special, especially here in Manitoba. Let's talk about your big trip to Greece. What's happening there?
Yeah, so we are attending a festival in Paralia, Greece, in July 8th to 12th, and so we're going to be performing there with a bunch of different groups from all around the world doing all sorts of different cultures. So there's going to be obviously us, a Polish group, and places from all around the world, and we'll be performing in Paralia, and there's a parade. We're going to be dancing in the square.
You were selected for this. How does that feel?
It's incredible. So everybody has to send in like a tape, and then they choose the participants. So this for this festival currently there's over 900 dancers involved. Yes.
That's exciting. Well, good luck in Greece, but you're also going to be back in time for Folklorama. What do you want people to know about that?
Oh, you have to come see us at the Polish Pavilion. So we'll be at the Convention Center from the 10th of August to the 16th. We welcome everybody just like we do every year. Awesome entertainment, awesome food. So.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for being with us and sharing this with us, and good luck in Greece, and let us know how it all goes.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
Beautiful outside in downtown Winnipeg right now. When I got in around 4, there were a few raindrops. We could see a little bit more rain, and there's a risk of thunderstorms this afternoon. But other than that, beautiful day, a high of 27 here in Winnipeg. You can see some wind out of the west, northwest, 30 gusting up to 50. So a little breezy, which may be a nice reprieve from the sunshine. With the sun right now hiding behind some clouds, but it should come out eventually later in the day. Again, that risk of thunderstorms in the afternoon should give way to a fairly clear evening. Overnight, staying clear, and of course tomorrow is Canada Day. Plenty of sunshine here in Winnipeg throughout most of the province. So if you're heading out to the Forks, Assiniboine Park, Assiniboia Downs, or community celebrations throughout the rest of the province, make sure you slap on that sunscreen, stay hydrated, take those necessary precautions, because 27 or 28 or 29 is going to feel a lot hotter than that. And we have much of the same for the rest of the week. I know kids are off school. Some people are already taking summer vacation. I'll tell you what's in store as we come up over the next few minutes. Taking a look at our weather pick of the day, though, this one is from Laurie Hall out in Hall of Water. You guessed it, a bear peeking through there. Send in your photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
CTV Morning Live Weather is brought to you by Destination Dinner Stage, Manitoba's only musical dinner theater.
If you've never been to the Winnipeg Folk Festival, this is the moment you've been waiting for. We're giving away a pair of tickets for a weekend of music and good vibes on July 12th and 13th. Whether you're a music lover, a festival newbie, or just looking for the perfect weekend plan, this is your chance to be part of one of Manitoba's most iconic summer traditions. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Enter the clue word 50. Good luck.
Canada's benchmark stock index, the S&P TSX Composite, rose by about 3/4 of a percentage point last week, and it's now up about 8% so far in 2025. It will begin today's trading day at 26,692 points. Meanwhile, U.S. stock markets posted larger gains last week, and futures contracts on the three main U.S. stock indices were higher this morning. Shares of Celestica, the Toronto-based manufacturer of electronics and computing components, rose to a new multi-year high on Friday of $209.03 per share. It's been a remarkable rally for Celestica stock. The stock plunged between early February and early April, but since April the 4th, it has soared by 122%. Celestica makes products for the so-called hyperscalers, tech giants who are building huge data and computing centers. Finally, the Canadian dollar was up slightly versus the U.S. dollar this morning, trading at 73.1 cents U.S. From the BNN Bloomberg Newsroom in Toronto, I'm Paul Bagnall.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
The Peaceful Village program is dedicated to the advancement of education to marginalized youth, particularly immigrants and refugees. It operates learning centers inside 6 schools in all quadrants of the city, as well as a community hub on Wall Street. The impact is major, and in this month's Commitment to Community, I learn how lives have been transformed.
For newcomer students, the Peaceful Village program is the perfect place to be. Its executive director, Daniel Zawaka, joins us now. United Way Winnipeg, a huge component in making all of this happen. What are the benefits?
Definitely, first of all, thank you to United Way. Thank you to all the donors from across our beautiful city of Winnipeg. Through the support from the United Way, that we are able, at least this year, let me say, 864 students across our 8 locations, where we are able to create a space that a student can come to belong, but also be supported academically, but also just to, to be with their friends, to focus on the academic work and dream of graduating from high school, which sometimes it's impossible. Having a space that they can come and be mentored and be just, be themselves in a way, but also having a good hot meal at the end of the day, where most of our students sometimes, struggle. I think the realities of the time is evident. So just having like that holistic wraparound support for a student is incredible.
For 3 hours every school day, students come into Peaceful Village for academic support, learning materials,
food, and creative activities. As many as 400 students attend every day across the 7 sites. The Peaceful Village's scholarship incentive offers its youth hundreds of dollars towards their post-secondary education for every year they attend the program. Sabrine is one of those students.
I like dancing and studying, but I do not study. I love PV. That's all I can say.
Well, you said you don't study, but you finished highest in your class in chemistry, and I'm sure many other subjects, so you're being very modest right now. Peaceful Village, how much time did you spend here?
Ooh, like since February. I didn't know before that, because if I had known, I would have come every day, because I really, really love this place. It makes my heart flutter a lot. Like, it makes me feel at peace. So.
Why is that, do you think?
Well, Peaceful Village, I would say it's not just a place where you come to study. It's like your second home. It's where you come from school tired and irritated and just done with life. And then you come here to meet your friends, everyone else, just to be like, just for them to lift you up. And then they will motivate you. Like when I was doing my math online, I was doing grade 12 online, by the way. I wasn't taking it at school. So I wouldn't know how to do it, because sometimes my teacher won't give me like the calculations and everything. So when I came to PV, they always had someone. They always had that person who would actually make me understand how to do the equations and pass everything. They helped me with my assignments. When I felt like, oh, I don't feel like doing math today, like I just don't want to do it, they'll be like, you need to get up and do that math, because you need to pass. You can do this, get up, you can do this.
And you know what? You did. Congratulations. Over 1,000 proud faces cheered on Peaceful Village graduates this year, and it's all thanks to United Way. Ainsley McPhail, CTV Morning Live, Winnipeg.
Commitment to Community is brought to you by United Way Winnipeg, here for Winnipeg.
Beautiful Monday morning out there, 18 degrees in Winnipeg. Under some cloudy skies, the wind out of the west-northwest at 20 clicks. Pressure's rising, the humidity right now sitting at 92%. The last few hours have been relatively calm here in Winnipeg. Earlier, around 4 a.m., we did see a few raindrops fall over the city. Came from the west, but tapered off into the states. Could see a couple more showers as the day progresses here in Winnipeg. High of 27. There is a risk of thunderstorms this afternoon. Hazy, sunny, and hot. The wind coming out of the northwest at 30, gusting up to 50. As we head into the evening, it's going to clear overnight, low of 17. The wind coming out of the west at 15. Tomorrow, of course, is Canada Day, and we're looking at a high of 29. Lots of sunshine, a little hazy. It's going to feel hotter than 29, though, so make sure you take those steps if you're heading out. The wind coming out of the northwest at 20, gusting up to 40. And the rest of the week is shaping up to be beautiful as well. 28 on Wednesday with plenty of sunshine. More of the same on Thursday. High of 31. Similar on Friday, a little more cloud before heading into the weekend with highs of 27 on Saturday and Sunday, Ainsley.
Thank you, Daniel. Winnipeggers gathered in North Kildonan on Saturday to fight against brain tumors. The 2025 Brain Tumor Walk was hosted by the Brain Tumor Foundation of Canada at Kildonan Park's Teddy Bass Athletic Field. The foundation hosts the walk all over Canada. Their mission is to support Canadians affected by a brain tumor in any way possible.
Our mission is to provide support to every Canadian affected by a brain tumor, whether that's through resources, education. We have research funding, advocacy. Our goal is to make sure that nobody goes through a brain tumor journey alone.
The walk raised over $70,000 so far. The foundation is funded entirely through donations and fundraisers like this walk. Participants had their own stories and reasons to attend, but the walk, they were all united with one cause. Canada plans to take a fresh look at addressing harmful behavior online as the Liberals attempt to get legislation passed for a third time. Canada's Justice Minister says that the government hasn't decided whether to rewrite or simply reintroduce the Online Harms Act. It was originally brought forward last year, but didn't pass. Measures addressing deepfakes and child exploitation are expected to be included in legislation coming in the near future. 2 Liberal election promises. The minister says that some online harm measures could include a separate crime bill expected to be tabled this fall. It's not just Canada Day tomorrow, it's also Moving Day in Quebec. Moving season is now in full swing and demand is off the charts for companies. One company said that they're seeing twice the number of bookings in the Montreal area compared to last year. They'll be handling 100 bookings tomorrow. In Quebec, most residential leases run from July 1st to the following June 30th. It's a common practice through one that's no longer legally required. Lincoln, the Yorkie Chihuahua mix is small but mighty.
Lincoln jumps back down, then goes back after the bear again. And as soon as the bear made one kind of little movement, Lincoln jumped off the hill. He did a little bit of a face plant.
The 4-year-old dog has a lot to say about his black bear breaking into his family's garage shed on Saturday. His owner, Matt Burnett, believes that Lincoln even nipped at the bear's ankle. The video he shot has been making some serious waves online, getting hundreds of thousands of views. Most people commenting the same thing. Lincoln is really brave. As more studies outline the negative impacts of smartphones can have on kids, some parents are dialing back access to the technology. They're turning to landlines as a way to allow their kids to stay in touch. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
No screen, no apps, no scrolling. After years of saying no to their kids' requests for a smartphone, some parents are now saying yes to a landline.
I just had this light bulb moment where I was like, oh, parents have choice here.
Well, Karen Morse quickly shot down her 9-year-old daughter's request for a smartphone last summer. She didn't want to block her kid's desire to connect with friends and family. So for her 10th birthday, Molly got a pink phone, and Morse began setting up a landline pod in their Portland, Maine community, convincing other parents to do the same.
I did a lot of outreach in this area and just kind of really tried to sell that this is an option. It's an option for many reasons. I love the idea that, there's independence there.
As more research emerges surrounding the potential harms of smartphones and social media use in young people, the popularity of landlines and flip phones is increasing, both seen as tools that can help delay giving kids a smartphone.
You would be surprised how easy it is to get a flip phone.
Jenny Perez is the founder of Unplugged Canada, a national nonprofit encouraging parents and kids to sign a pledge to delay smartphone access until 14 years old. But for that to work, Perez acknowledges both kids and parents need friends and community buy-in, so they aren't the only ones.
The fact that they know they are not alone anymore and there are other like-minded parents, it's helping them to pause that and say, no, I know you're not alone. There are other kids that are also whose parents are going to wait, so we're going to do this together.
Old technology, a new tool in the quest for a smartphone-free childhood. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Taking a look at Portage and Polo Park traffic volumes, definitely picking up into your rush hour. We are not aware of any stalls or crashes. Let us know, though. CTV Morning, WPG. Taking a look at your gas prices, the Canadian average stands at $1.35. The provincial average is lower at $1.31. In Winnipeg, the average is at $1.29. The lowest price in the city, $1.17. All this information available at gasbuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
It's now time for our question of the day, and we wanted to know, what are your Canada Day plans? Josh says that he's taking his son to the Forks. Shirley says that she plans on watching baseball in Clearwater all day. Well, that's an awesome idea. Thank you guys for your responses. Joseph joins us once again from the Forks. Good morning, Joseph. I see that you've got a basketball with you.
I certainly do, Ainsley. I'm going to be taking a couple shots in just a few moments here. Very pleased to be joined again by Tinica Bauskulioma. She's a communications and marketing advisor again from the Forks. Tinica, what's going to be happening on the CN stage here? It's going to be some really fun basketball happening.
Yeah, so basketball continues. There's a 3-on-3 tournament all weekend, or all day tomorrow, I guess. And there's also a dunking contest. Ooh, looks like you're almost ready for it. And then there's going to be a layup contest, shooting contest. We got this. Amazing. So come watch some really great 3-on-3 wheelchair, women's, and men's basketball. There's also 2 courts set up here, so anyone can come grab a ball and, take some turns shooting. The Winnipeg Sea Bears will be here in the afternoon as well.
Well, I went 1 for 4, so 25% ain't too great, unfortunately, for my shooting percentage, but there's going to be lots of fun things happening here throughout the day. Tinica, tell us a little bit more about the live music, food trucks. What else can people enjoy?
Yeah, so right out here in the field, we have those food trucks that you're talking about. There's also a handmade market, so lots of great places that you can shop. There's going to be a giant tent here so folks can sit underneath, stay warm, stay cool, enjoy the basketball that's happening around them, and then go check out the music and entertainment throughout the site.
What are you most looking forward to tomorrow?
I just love the whole day. There's something for everybody from 9 till 6. So it's just a great celebration of all things Manitoba and Canada.
And give me a quick word on some of the programming that took place before in the lead up to today and tomorrow, the Many Nations One Heartbeat.
Yeah, so we've had 11 days of programming running from Indigenous Peoples Day on the 21st through to tomorrow, where we've been celebrating and learning more about all the different treaty regions within Manitoba and just celebrating all the people who have lived here, continue to live here, and celebrate. So part of that is, we have Folklorama coming tomorrow, Fort White's coming with some critters so we can learn more about the Manitoba animals that are here.
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
We forgot to mention that Fort White's going to have some critters.
Yeah, so they're coming in the afternoon and they'll have some cuddly and maybe not so cuddly critters for us to learn more about as well.
And where can people go, of course, to get more information on all the list of events happening tomorrow?
Yeah, if you head to our website, theforks.com, and go to the event schedule, everything is laid out there so you can look at all day what's happening.
As Tinica mentioned, there's going to be events happening right till 7 o'clock tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. You can be here bright and early. Hopefully the weather's going to be nice tomorrow, and again, celebrating Canada Day at the Forks. Come on down.
Thank you, Joseph. Would you want to go for one-on-one today?
Yeah, basketball's not my strong suit, nor is skateboarding, so I'm really happy I was not filling in reporting this morning. But up here on the roof, really nice actually. A little bit of gray coverage overhead. We could see a few more showers. We saw a little bit of rain early this morning. There is a risk of thunderstorms this afternoon, but high of 27 here in Winnipeg today. Going to feel more like 31 with the humidex. The UV index high as well, so if you are going outside, make sure you're slapping on some sunscreen. Kids are off school. A lot of you took today off with Canada Day tomorrow. As we heard from Joseph, lots happening at the Forks, plenty happening throughout the rest of the city and province. We're looking at a high of about 29 tomorrow and plenty of sunshine here in Winnipeg. The rest of the week is shaping up to be beautiful with above seasonal averages, heading into the 30s as we head a little closer to the weekend. But for now, beautiful start. We'll be right back with more CTV Morning Live.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful at 900 Lorimer Boulevard, featuring Hunter Douglas Shades.
A 3-day event bringing festivities to the Tyndall Park neighborhood kicked off on Sunday. Known as Canada Fest, the annual event at the Tyndall Community Market includes food trucks, local vendors, performances, Zumba, and is free to attend.
I think we're offering something a little bit different, which is, Tyndall Community Market featuring the food park. There's lots of food options here. You're not going to find this anywhere else in Winnipeg.
The event runs today from 4 to 9 p.m. at the Tyndall Park Community Center, both inside and outside, and concludes on Canada Day. Fireworks are anticipated for the final day at 10:35 p.m., weather permitting. And we've got some more breaking news to bring to you this hour. Prime Minister Mark Carney has called a by-election in an Alberta riding, clearing the way for Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre to run again for a seat in the House of Commons. The by-election will be held in the riding of Battle River, Crowfoot, on August 18th. It was triggered after Damien Keurig resigned to allow Poilievre to run in the riding, which is considered one of the safest Conservative seats in Canada. This comes after Poilievre lost in Carleton, a riding he had held for 2 decades.
If seeing polar bears and beluga whales is on your bucket list, you will want to hear about this. Churchill, of course, is one of the best places in the world for that kind of adventure, and Lazy Bear Expeditions has been helping people experience it all up close. Joining us this morning is Wally Doddridge, the owner of Lazy Bear Expeditions, to chat about what makes Churchill so special and why now is a great time to plan a trip up north. Good morning, Wally.
Good morning. How are you today in Winnipeg?
I'm well, and you in Churchill?
I'm doing well. You can see the port right behind me.
Absolutely. It looks beautiful. Now, Wally, for viewers who might not be familiar, tell us about Lazy Bear Lodge and Expeditions and what it's all about and how it's become such an important part of Manitoba tourism.
Yeah, of course. We've been in existence. Actually, we're celebrating our 30th year. My wife and I were a family-run business. And one of the first things that we did was when we built the lodge, we made an environmental assessment that allowed us to use naturally fire-killed logs in the process of building the lodge. So we have actually a beautiful ecotourism lodge built out of fire-damaged timber, 100%, no green wood in the building whatsoever.
Okay. Now, Wally, the beluga whale season is just around the corner. What can visitors expect when they come up to Churchill during that time?
Well, you can see there's beautiful weather right now. We're all ice-free by now. Normally, last year, I know we had ice right through the summer, but right now there is ice out on the Hudson Bay, but it's quite a ways off. Bears will be swimming for land very soon, and the beluga whales, which we do see a few, it's maybe hard to see on the video, but we'll have up to 3,500 beluga whales here at peak season in about another month.
Wow.
And they're starting now in the low hundreds, and I would say by the end of June, they'll be in the high hundreds, and by, middle of summer, they'll be at peak season.
That sounds incredible. Now, Wally, of course, you are located directly under the auroral oval, so it's really no surprise that Churchill is known worldwide for its northern lights. So what's it like to experience that at Lazy Bear Lodge?
Well, you know, so many people haven't been up north and personal. So when they come up here for the first time and they see the northern lights, it's almost, it is supernatural. The Churchill Rocket Range was built up here in the 1950s, and it was for exactly the reason that you said. The atmosphere here is actually thinner, so more light gets through, and the aurora display is phenomenal, and it's active almost every day of the year. But of course, in the springtime and early summer, it's difficult to see northern lights simply because the days are so long, and it doesn't set until close to midnight, and it comes back up at about sometime between 3 and 4 in the morning. But we do run our northern lights season starting in late summer and through September, and then you can see northern lights during that time in their glory.
And I can vouch for that, all the wonderful photos that folks from Churchill send to us here at CTV of the Northern Lights, just stunning. Now, Wally, of course, we can't overlook the iconic polar bear, of a true symbol of Canada's wilderness. Are polar bears only visible in the winter?
No, actually, they would be coming off the ice here momentarily, just within the next few weeks. As I mentioned earlier, the Hudson Bay ice is receding now, but it might be 20 or 30 miles just north of Churchill, and that as that ice as it breaks up into smaller pieces, then the bears swim for land. And that's perfectly normal. They'll swim 50 miles, taking a couple days to do that, but they're so covered with fat this time of the year that they naturally float like a beach ball.
Well, there you go. Wally, quickly, if viewers want to learn more to plan their adventure, where should they go?
LazyBearLodge.com. Check out our website and see what we do with polar bears, beluga whales, northern lights, wildflowers, everything Arctic up north and personal.
It sounds incredible. Wally, thanks so much for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
18 degrees in downtown Winnipeg right now under cloudy skies. The wind coming out of the west-northwest at 20 clicks. The pressure's rising. The humidity sitting at 92%. We saw a little bit of rain very early this morning, and we could see a little bit more as we head through the day. There is a risk of thunderstorms, but other than that, some pretty sunny skies. Let's look around the province to start off. In the north, we just heard from folks up in Churchill, high of 18 there today. Chance of some showers in Gillam, Island Lake, and Thompson. Risk of thunderstorms there as well. High of 23 in Thompson. Further west of there in Flin Flon, high of 24 in the Paw, 25 as well. Risk of thunderstorms as well. To our west out in Brandon, those thunderstorms rolled through overnight, so 26 clearing as we head into the day. Similar story throughout the rest of that region. Here in Winnipeg, high of 27. Risk of thunderstorms this afternoon. Pretty much the same throughout the entire capital region and just over the border in Ontario. Highs of 23 in Kenora and Dryden. And taking a look over the next few days, a lot more sunshine, including 29 tomorrow on Canada Day. We'll be right back with some more CTV Morning Live.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center.
Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Okay, we're taking you into your Canada Day Tuesday. It's a hot one out there, so to stay cool, this town called the Professionals. What a better way to beat the heat than with a fire hose? Not the kind we're thinking of. This is from a village in Poland. It came out with buckets and water squirters for a fun, playful water fight. Oh, looks like everybody wins in this one. Community coming together. Part of owning a home is making it perfect for you and for your family, and some people tend to go above and beyond.
Waking up in a fun house. Right now there's a foam pit in our master bedroom because of a project my husband's working on.
I don't know, I think I'm calling them out on this one. This doesn't really seem real or realistic. I don't know if she thinks she's Spider-Woman or what. I'm a little jealous about with the foam pit, because that could be a fun exercise. And the secret pantry, that's really something.
You could really hide that clutter behind there, right?
Oh, yeah. That's a good...
I mean, she's trying to make doing laundry fun, which I guess I'll give her credit on that one.
Yeah, just put on music like the rest of us. Jeez. All right. I hope you guys, lastly, okay, we've heard of synchronized swimming, but what about synchronized skydiving?
Okay.
What? Okay, creativity, coordination. Lucky for them, they've excelled at everything, and seems Singapore, they floated their way to the World Championships this year. Their routine has gone viral overnight with millions of views.
It reminds me of the original Power Rangers movie. They all jump out of the plane at the same time.
Oh, man. All right. Have a great Canada Day, everybody. Stay safe. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you the following day.